You're listening to STAGR Cast, brought to you by STAGR Gear. All right, welcome back to another episode of STAGR Cast. We're sitting down with our good friend Rodney Elmer. Been a little while. I think we did what? We did a little fall pre-deer season one, I think, last time. But
yeah.
It's been a couple years since we've been in the shop. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, that was over the phone.
Yeah. Looks like you've been real busy in here.
Oh, geez, crazy. Yep.
Yeah. We spent the first half hour just checking out all the new cool taxidermy, and you're kicking butt in here, man. It's not going to be too long, and you're going through deer right now like crazy.
Yeah, I've been pounding on fish. Those videos have been going nuts.
Oh, yeah. Your reels and stuff.
People are really interested in seeing a fish get fleshed for some reason, cleaning the skin. Millions of views. Just doesn't make much sense. You never know what people want to watch, but those have been doing good. Yeah.
Well, the whole idea of fish taxidermy, a lot of people, if you're not from this world, you don't know what's what with a fish.
Sure, something you don't see regularly.
Oh yeah,
right.
For sure.
Right.
And not a lot of people doing flesh mounts anymore. Really, I mean, most people are just slapping the replicas out there now, and the flesh ones are an art form for sure.
I can't believe the number of people that have just reached out and said, I want to do it that way, and I like old school, and I want to do it that way. And I suppose for myself, even I'd want it that way myself.
Yeah,
because it's actually the real fish, even though, respectfully, I've let a lot of fish go. Mm-hmm. I thought about mounting them. They were monsters, and I'm like, I gotta mount that thing, but it's really old. A big northern or something. And it's like, nah, I'll let it go. But definitely, that's been something. I even have a full-body beaver that I'm gonna do that is going in. See that pine box right there with the holes in it?
Yeah.
The state of Idaho back in the 40s started dropping beavers from aircraft with Army surplus parachutes.
Damn.
So they had parachuting beavers. And you can actually see this on YouTube if you type it in.
Okay.
And the state of Idaho filmed some of these. And down in, I think it's West Virginia, there's a big federal training facility.
Yep.
And they're doing a big display with a beaver coming out of the pine box.
Wow.
And they have the parachute and everything else. So I'm going to be building one of those for the feds.
That's
that's kind of cool. Something different, right? You never know who's going to call and what they're going to want.
That was part of a repopulation effort that was probably successful.
Yeah. They put a male and a female in there, and the box would slap together, the two sides, the open areas would slap together, and the parachute would hold them shut until it landed. And then it would open up, and the male and female could come out. So they'd pick some meadows and drop them right out of an airplane, 400 feet or whatever, like a paratrooper, and it would land and poof, and out they'd come. And it's a video on YouTube that you can watch. You want to check it out. It's cool.
I'm going to look that up when I go. I never heard about that.
Me
Some
neither.
tactical beavers right there.
Oh, yeah.
We should have grabbed that one up in Maine there a few weeks ago. That was giving us such a hard time. He'd have been a good test subject. Boy, I wonder if he's still there.
That was an aggressive beaver right there.
You better not bite when you bring him in the door.
Oh, my God.
How's all the boys doing? They doing good?
Yes, right out straight. The tree business is crazy, and they're right in the middle of 8 under 4.
Wow.
So they have some kids. so Christmas is more screaming than you've ever heard in your whole life.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
None on the way for this deer season? Are we all
Not that
done
I'm
for right
aware
now?
of.
Or?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right.
Let's try and keep it that way.
Because last year there was 2 or 3 on the way, wasn't there?
Yeah. Casey never even got a chance to get out in the woods.
Glad to see Taylor and Ryan get up there. They had a good season.
Yeah.
Saw the pictures from that, videos.
Considering some of our hardships, that's the way it goes, But it was wonderful, and never had so much snow.
Yeah.
Last season was snow the whole time, just about. So that's pretty incredible.
For sure.
Tracker's dream. This last season was a tracker's dream.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Seemed like you could always find it pretty much. Yeah. I mean, even if you had to get up some elevation last year early on, but after that, it set right in all the way down.
Yeah. So Ryan got it. He was done right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
That was something else.
I'm going to fill my doe permit. Oh, man. Right? I'm going to fill my doe permit. There, I've done it. Right?
That was such a freak thing, though, getting the spike like that. I mean, it was crazy.
The lady at the Aquasic store there that runs it, the River's Edge there, she said that there was a lot of spike horns that were below 3 inches.
Really?
She'd never seen so many. Really small spike horns. And I got to say the same thing here.
Yeah.
When your spikes aren't even 6 inches long, or they're all less than 3, that's not a good sign.
No.
There's a reason they're issuing doe permits, and that is one of the big reasons. They're small and spindly and thin, and even the burring is tiny around, and it's just like, it's not good. It's not good. Their health is not what it should be.
No, I saw some of that in New Hampshire last year too. I was videoing and end up, I said, well, I saw a couple doe, and then I go back and look at the video, and the first one's a tiny little spike. It happened to me twice, and I'm like, what? This is weird. Usually they got, a little better situation going, but that is part of.
That's part of one of the warning signals, right?
Yeah.
When spike horns start getting real thin in the antler beam diameters, they're starting to be real short.
Okay.
There's a high number of them. That's not good.
Yep.
When body weights in general are down across the board in nearly every kind of deer, from fawns to does to buck, and all the weights are down. I would say probably, especially in that corner of Maine where we usually are, a lot of the bucks that they shot, especially like probably in Stratton, Ryan was saying that, they're 140 to 170 pounders was kind of like the rule. And you saw lots and lots of that size deer.
Okay.
So, that makes 2 years ago, fawn crop really big. And now they're 2 years old and they're running around. There's lots of people. Had great conditions, so a lot of them got shot. A big part of the kill, I think he had over 300 checked in at the store there, which, a lot of that's probably does as well, because they did issue quite a few permits for that area. But still, to have a reporting station triple.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a lot.
Some crazy numbers.
This is the heyday of hunting for New England right now.
Yeah.
You think so?
Question.
So not even comparable back to like the pre-2008, 90s, like that?
It'd probably be right there with it.
Okay.
But like in the last 20 years, this is the best it's been in the last 20 years.
Yep.
And you would know. You would know.
Hands down. Like in the shop here, what you're seeing on the websites for like Curtis, for the Big Game Trophy Club, all that kind of stuff. You're seeing 10-pointers where Vermont isn't known for 10-pointers.
No,
and
for sure.
you look at that list of deer, and there's a large number of 10s. So that's really awesome. But I only checked in one doe. I think my biggest doe I had was a 120. Yep. Everything else was in the 78 to 97, 99 pound range.
That's interesting.
So there's a whole bunch under 100. A lot of does were under 100 pounds that I reported here.
Even in muzzle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
They were. A lot of them were light. Once in a while, you get one of them big old horse does with a big long nose, and she's up there pretty good. But like Williamstown was terrible.
Yeah.
The doe weights in Williamstown was terrible. That's the worst.
Yeah, over where I hunt there, over in Caledonia, it's if you get out of the acorns, they drop right down 90, 100 pounds. You get in the acorns, 130, 100. You can get. I don't know what that one is. I got in. Muzzle, but it was a good size.
That was a big doe.
But,
that was a good doe.
But it's
oak doe though. You said
oaks. Yeah, just freaking binging on acorns. But
you get a year and a half, and she weighs 78 pounds.
Yeah,
that's light.
Yeah, that's really light. Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing that. Like when I was a kid, you never saw that, and you saw a lot of 110.
Yeah.
Like the average was more like 105, 107.
How big was that doe that Ryan got up in Maine? That thing looked like
130s.
gigantic.
It was in the 130s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Big
That thing
old
was
girl.
huge. She just, honking nose on her.
Oh, yeah.
And bent around. But that's what you need to get the 200-pounders, right?
Yeah.
You need them big, huge. They're more than half the equation, right? So the doe matters too. And when you see, in general, a lot of them being small, well, that might have to do with 15-mile winters in a row, right?
Yeah.
Right. There's a little evolution going on there. When
For
you
sure.
get tons of big, deep snow, little ones don't make it.
I was going to ask you about that. Do you think that the 200-pounder things in Maine is in trouble? There's been a lot of lesser genetics making it through.
In the area we are, I would say it's more high grading than anything.
Yeah.
Like we're all after big ones.
Yeah.
And all the big ones are getting harassed.
True.
More than a little.
Yeah.
Like if you have a woodlot and you cut all the trees over 16 inches, how many 16 inches are you going to have?
Yeah, none.
And everyone wants a 200-pounder. That's why they go there. Well, guess what? When everyone chases them 200s, you thin them out.
Yeah.
And you might get down to 7 or 8 legends, that are kicking around in 25, 30 square miles. There's 7 or 8 real good, monsters.
Yeah.
The rest of them, they're all,
Oh, yeah.
all them young buck that are working their way up through.
For sure.
And you can afford to shoot young buck, especially when the herd is as big as it is. You know, it doesn't hurt to shoot a few small ones.
No.
You can afford some 4-pointers.
Yeah.
You really can.
Yeah.
You can afford to shoot some of them because some of them will just make it anyway. You know, and then there's going to be some that just are not. And like if the guy goes home happy and he got a deer and he participated, what more can you ask for?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
right.
That's what we always have, these lofty goals. But at the end of the day, if you have a good time and we shoot one that's maybe not the biggest, but we're
happy about it.
as hell.
Yeah, if you,
You know?
all you can do is love it. You shoot a giant, you can love it. You shoot
Yep.
a small one and you love it. That's the best you can do is love it.
Mm-hmm.
So it don't matter.
His one, the video is coming out on his, closer to the season, but the whole event, I mean, yes, it was a big old buck, but just the story of getting him out was the whole thing. It was the whole thing.
Sure.
It was the most fun we had all year.
Oh, yeah.
Getting that thing out of the woods. Well, maybe not the first night. I didn't show up till
It was brutal the first night.
I didn't show up till the sun was shining, but yeah. So, but
What a wonderful place.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure,
beautiful.
For sure. Taylor's buck. You guys aged that. That was an older buck, huh?
Oh, yeah.
How old was that buck?
Oh, he looked like 4, if not 5 or 6.
Jesus.
But like kind of, his teeth were worn kind of weird. And I look at a lot of jaws, and his were worn a lot in the fronts and not so much in the back.
Okay.
Like the molar, on the molar part of it, the front 3 were worn pretty good, and then the rest of them were all really sharp, and it was off a little bit. And he's like, I don't know, and I really don't care. And I'm like, okay, so like we rip out a tooth and send it, and because there's a couple there that are really good ones, and we were hoping. And then when we got to looking at it, we saw the scar and whatnot. We thought, oh, maybe this is him, because he had a huge scar right on his left shoulder.
Yep.
But it turns out it wasn't. So like afterwards, and we get to looking at them, and then when I watch them all on the video coming into the yard, and they're walking around in the yard, and I'm like, oh no, there he is. He's still alive. He's still alive.
Yeah.
It's weird to watch a deer that you shot at walking around in a yard.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Almost eaten out of a guy's hand.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Makes you scratch your head a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, like when you couldn't even see him, wouldn't even let you see a tail.
Yeah. It's like they just flip a switch one day and that's it.
Yep.
They're coming
true.
in to eat, but it's amazing too how many, because I run cameras. It's amazing how many you don't see. So you don't know where the hell they go. Do they
And
stay in the
they're
woods? Do they go to Canada? Where do they go? I mean,
Right.
So it's pretty neat.
I still
overall.
think there's a good population of them that don't go to those yards. They bury themselves in a bog somewhere and they just fight out the winter. I think there's a good population of them that still do that.
There's bound to be a few. It takes a big herd to get that to happen after like a slammer.
Yeah.
You get a real slammer winter and 4 or 5 feet of snow.
Yeah.
It's really deep. And those ones that were out there and they were just getting by, but then they moved to a logging operation. The logging operation left, and now they're stuck, right? And the snow is super deep, and something happens to get onto them, a cat or whatever, and now they've had the radish. And a few of them big old, especially big old boys,
Yep.
or some of them big doe that want to stay back there, that would have their offspring stay back there with them.
Yeah.
That's what I found a lot when I first started going to Maine. When I would get up there, there'd be a year or two of good deer hunting. Then it would get a slammer winter. And then like all the ones that were up on the does that would live on top of the mountain up at 3,000 feet or whatever, they weren't there anymore.
Yeah.
They were gone. The winter was so bad and so mean. And if they didn't drop down and go to town, they were all dead. So then it took the town deer quite a while to like leave Wilson Mills and go all the way up to Bowman.
Yep.
Right. It would take a long time for them to get way up there and to reestablish staying there.
Yep.
And it like sometimes that would happen. And I think that probably plays a role in it, as well as, the logging and the routes to get there and back.
For sure.
But there's something about when all of a sudden it just clicks and they all say, I'm out of here, and away they go.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
Crazy. Oh, it is. It really is. Yep. And it's the way it is now. It's like we can't go backwards now.
We used to laugh at it, right? We would say, what do they do? Get in a V formation, right? And they head to town. And like, we would joke about that. But that's actually, they were all headed, and amazing some of the routes that they would pick to get there too. And eventually when you go that many times, you'll figure a few of those out.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, we got burned on that a couple times going up late, and we get up where it had been fantastic a couple weeks before, and there ain't a deer left on the mountain.
Yep.
You know,
Just missed it.
It's just crazy,
Yep.
but we
Oh, sure.
we had fun anyways. But so without giving too much away, are you guys? So last year you guys relocated a little bit. Are you gonna plan on doing that again this year? Are you guys all gonna go up this year? Have you made plans yet, or is
It's been quiet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Everybody has been working, and I haven't heard squat about what we were going to do.
Okay.
And it don't really matter. I can
Yeah.
do it wherever that part. I'm not tied to anything in any place.
Yep.
But I know Jimmy's like, we got to find some deer someplace.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
got to find like easier stuff.
yeah.
Because some of these deer they're the only big one left in here.
Yeah.
And he is just a jerk, and we can't get him. And
Yeah.
like, it's so much work, and like we
Yeah.
got to move around a little bit. And we did explore. We did spend almost a week exploring places we hadn't been before, and kind of sniffing it over and looking and seeing what was there. And not so much late in the season, but more early in the season.
Yeah.
You know, and when we got a little bit of snow in a spot where we hadn't been before, man, you got to go check.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
yeah, for
time to
sure.
go and look. If you don't have cameras and you haven't been looking,
Yep.
and you don't know nothing, even access to an area or how many people hunt it,
Yeah.
you're totally new to it. You've got to go at least go on snow and go have a sniff.
Yeah.
And then when you go back on the second and third day, you find out the amount of traffic there, people, how much deer sign or moose sign or whatever's going on, loggers, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Did you like the change up last season? Being in kind of a different area as far as camp goes, and then kind of looking around, did you find some good stuff?
Well, yeah. We also, like, I hunted that, but it was like 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Okay.
So, like, it was a 20-year woods. I hadn't been there for 20 years,
Yeah.
some of them woods. So I
Yeah.
went back to a lot of areas I hadn't been in a long, long time. And I did the same thing as when I brought the boys up for the first time. We'd drive down the road, and I'd say, okay, this side hill right here always used to, and they would come down and see that softwood line. They'd cross on this corner right here all the way up through to about another half mile. So we'd drive up the road. I'd explain it as we're starting out the road, get up there, boom, there's the tracks, everything kind of the same as it always had been. Some new roads broke in and things like that, which, for me was like, wow, this was never like this before, you know, so that was good, and we had a lot of fun with that.
Yep.
But in general, more people than usual.
Yeah.
I would say.
Seemed like that overall. I mean, even over our way, it just seemed like there was more people up there. But like you said, conditions were right this year. You got, there's more buzz with social media and stuff. People want to try it.
Sure.
But you can't blame them.
Nope.
But yeah, it definitely seemed to change it a little bit.
I was probably the only one hoping for no snow because when there's no snow, there's nobody. You can
Yes.
just go in and have the woods to yourself.
It is true.
As soon as there's snow, everybody shows up.
Especially the first week.
Oh, yeah.
I like the first week to get tuned up with no snow.
Yeah.
And I know, but I know they're all alive. See, the thing is, they're all alive. They haven't been shot.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So everything's in the woods at least,
Yeah.
So that is a little bit of a comfort, and I can just kind of sometimes walk up to them, so that helps.
Exactly.
But-
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you have even a clue there, and you get some legs, you'll like triple your chances pretty well. Mm-hmm. Plus they'll weigh a lot.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can shoot a 2-year-old that'll weigh 220 sometimes.
Yeah. I mean,
Just because it's first thing. They haven't worn it off yet. They've got all the fat, and they're beautiful.
it's just amazing how much calories they burn. I mean, in a few weeks' time there.
No, for sure.
Just because you can see such a healthy looking deer, and in 2 weeks they look like they're about ready to die.
Yep.
They just stop. I mean, they might eat a little bit walking, but it's just crazy how run down they get, how quickly they get. But
It is true.
A guy here in Vermont's telling me, they're all wore out because there's so many does. And I'm like, well, a little bit. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, they wear themselves out when there's no does
Yeah.
because they never stop looking.
No.
Yeah, true. Because
It didn't matter. He is going to exert that energy no matter what. And
Yeah.
some of them are ranging, chasing crazy, rut-crazed animals that just burn off everything. And others are poke along and I'll
Yes.
take what I can get, and it's no big deal. Yeah, yeah.
There's some with
amazing.
such like homebody personalities just from anecdotal stuff we've
Thank
seen.
God, right? Some of them are on a good pattern. Thank God, right?
Those-
You can kill them.
But sometimes those are the boys that live because like they don't get out and about, so nobody knows about them. So if they're in their little hole and they got Greg who can't seem to kill them, I'll just get pictures of them for 3-4 years. But no, it's crazy. They're all different, but like they've run half their body fat off just checking scrapes before it even gets going. I mean, it seems like
No, yeah.
Yeah.
it was crazy. The beginning of last year, we were running some doe pea drags and stuff like that. And the deer would hit those drags and they'd run right down those drags. A few days goes by, like you said, the second week they're getting this, that. They didn't give a shit about that doe pea. They're gone. They could smell it in the air at that point. But it was it's
7
crazy.
pounds a week is not unusual.
Wow.
That's what it is, you think?
Yeah.
7 pounds a week?
Yeah, right in that ballpark.
Yeah.
5 to 8, somewhere in there.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll run quite a bit off them, and like the other thing too will probably matter, their overall size, proportion wise, you're bound to lose more because you're bigger, but they're just amazing. They're amazing. There's a reason that they are the most sought after thing in North America by everybody.
Yeah.
And like they can make it anywhere.
Absolutely.
I got a buck here. That bugger will not walk on my property. He will not even set foot on it. And I'm like, come on, right? And he chased my does right up to my border and let them run right onto my land, and he will not come in here.
Really?
He probably poked his head in the window a long time ago.
Go drive by.
Word is out or something. And when somebody gets him, it's amazing how he uses the landscape. And I've learned a lot about him.
Yep.
Especially when we had so much snow here in Vermont. We had a lot here too, and I had a little time because we ended up leaving Maine a little early, so I got a little more time to hunt here. And this thing is a beauty. I don't normally have nice ones near my house. And this one here is a nice one, and I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to run into him.
Yeah.
And then all he does is go right in between all the houses, all the hedgerows. He's walking through people's yards and like just, and making it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just amazing. And even the loop of where he goes and people showing me pictures of him from around here, pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's cool to see.
But sometimes it's fun to hunt like that too,
That's right.
I went down to Mass last year, and the guys I was hunting with, they had this little thing on Onyx that actually did a circle around houses, and it showed you exactly where you were walking, and I can shoot here, but if I go in this circle, I'm too close, and all them friggin' deer were just in amongst them houses.
Oh, yeah.
And it's totally different hunting, but it was fun. It was fun, but I'd prefer Maine overall, though.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
So
Speaking of that, I want to talk more on the nitty-gritty of your season because we didn't get all of it with the videos and stuff last year. But before we do that, I kind of had an offshoot question when we were talking about the weeks, the first week, how you like the first week to get around. What would you say is like the breakdown of where you've killed bucks like week to week in your career over the years? Like for second, third, like what are the percentages, would you say?
10th to the 14th.
That's your highest percentage?
November 10th, 12th, November 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right in there.
That's your bang zone right there?
That seems to be where I've shot a bunch of them right at that time. Sometimes with snow, sometimes without. That just seems to be. But that's also, too, like more than half of my career of going up there was that week.
you only had the 1 week.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if you can only go then, guess when you're going to kill them?
Yeah.
Right, you're going to kill them during that time frame.
Oh, yeah.
Right. If you grunt a lot, you're going to kill one grunting. Right.
That's fair.
Right. Sharks kill in shallow water, right? Because that's where all the people
That's
are, right? It's that type of like thing, I guess. But there's something like just as the first week, they're kind of like not doing anything. They're really not doing much. If they lay down any sign, if they make a scrape, a rub, or anything, it's kind of near where they're hanging and bedding, and it's like a summertime, right? Well, I don't want to say summertime because sometimes, too, right when they're shedding their velvet, they're a different critter, and they'll move a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like, after that bow season time, at the end of bow and the beginning of November, they've kind of, like, picked a little spot where the velvet's off and everything's okay, and I kind of like it right here.
Yep.
And if I'm going for a walk on the first week in November and I see any kind of buck sign at all, and especially a string of it, oh, he's right there. Quarter mile. Yep. Right within a quarter mile, the thickest, nastiest junk you can find right near there, he's right there someplace. So, like, if I can find, like, 3 or 4 or 5 groups of sign, like a clump of sign and a clump of sign and a clump of sign over there. Yeah. And I have, and they're good big, especially if it's got a huge track in a scrape. Whoa, right at a rub, there's a gigantic track. If it's got a gigantic track and a whole bunch of buck sign, I'm going to be hunting right there.
Yep.
Like, I'm going to pick the best time to hunt that spot.
Yeah.
Where I stand the best chance. If it's a thick, nasty, grown-up cut or something like that, on a bank with some greenery above it, and he's in this really nasty, nasty garbage, I'm going to pick the best day to be there.
Yep.
When the wind is right, when the noise levels are right, when I can slide in there and he doesn't know, and I can hopefully just walk right up to him and get him. So if I pick out 4 or 5 of these clumps everywhere, and now today's not a good day for here, but it is for that one. The wind is just right for this one. I'll go over and do that one.
You're saying exactly what we have been finding with cameras, and you don't use cameras.
Yeah,
so like
I don't use them, but that's what I would do.
Same, and we kind of had the same thing happen last year. For some reason, this one buck just kind of settled into this one area, and we had a really good plan. Unfortunately, a moose just happened to die right where our plan was, and then every coyote in the nation came in. Yes. Kind of blew everything out, but it was just
sure.
But sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. There's thick stuff, but they might pick this one cut to feed in, and there's 20 other cuts look just the same, but they're right there for some reason.
It's like they decide they pick that spot,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
For whatever reason.
I think other buck pressure matters as well.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
He's going to pick it in the center if he's the biggest with a bunch of smaller ones around him.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Like I can keep track of everybody right here. I got security cover and I feel good. Right? They have to feel good. It's got to be good, feel good security covers. It's got to be some of that.
Yep.
Because they look out for their own skins all the time. So that would matter. But also too, if he's like competition with another buck and really hates on him, but I think I can take him and I need to watch him really bad, they'll have to be somewhat near each other. They'll watch, right? So like that'll matter too.
Yeah. We feel like you were with us last year.
This is
You're describing exactly what
that's
we
common
went through.
sense, right? That's just plain old common sense. What would you do if you had to survive and where you were on that road in this area? Where's the best food? It doesn't take you long to figure out where the best feed is, where the best cover is for that like valley that you're in or whatever.
Yeah.
Where the least amount of pressure is, where you're likely to run into lots of ladies and be able to get away from coyotes and other problems.
Yeah.
It doesn't take you long and you'd figure it right out. And we'd probably all pick the same spot.
And keep your enemies close.
Yeah,
keep an eye on them. Yep.
Have you? I mean, you've talked about before how you like hunting legends now, if you will, as you've gotten older in your career and deer hunting and stuff.
Yep.
Have you seen like those legends? Say you've chased them for a couple of years or 2 or 3 years. Have you seen like another buck come in and like drive those ones right out, and you've had to relocate them completely, or you kind of see that they stay there no matter what?
This last season, there's 2. One is real square. The other one's kind of pointy. They're both a solid 200. The first one, oh boy, that thing's huge. I don't know how much he would weigh, but like he's the most impressive track I've seen in quite a while. And I could not get eyes on him, but the 2 of them were mixing and going over each other during that chase phase. Oh my God, they were all over each other all the time. I never saw a fight scene. So obviously, one's backing off from the other because there was never a fight scene anywhere. And the boys and I really scraped that. I mean, we scraped that hard. Really, like every square inch of that entire terrain, one of us had walked through. And especially with 2, 3, 4 day old snow sometimes, you can, like when you cruise and double back and go through everything, and there's a bunch of you. And these 2 bucks were probably using about a 7 or 8 mile square area. Yep. And they were just patrolling and just going berserk inside of that area right there. And there's a ton of people.
Yep.
And still, they were going right around everybody, and they were still just like swarming on each other and shoving each other around. And a couple of times, it was like all around a huge swamp, just the 2 of them. You could tell they did not like each other. Yeah. And I'm like, please, one of you. I'll shoot either one. I don't care, because they're both nice. But they were definitely tabs on each other all the time, checking all the time. And I've never really had one, I want to say that I could say that it drove it out.
Okay.
Or like chased it off all that much, other than like it was definitely a battle and you're definitely out of here and I'm going to shove you. And then they never disappeared.
Completely.
Like the one that chased off the other. Mm-hmm. And I've seen them 3 miles. 3 miles of constant pestering in a straight line. 3 miles on the GPS, you are out of here, and I'm not going to stop following you till I think you're gone. And just shove them 3 miles straight in a straight line. Just you are out of here.
Jesus.
I've seen that a few times.
Well, what were you just saying about going in, you guys pounding an area, that brings up probably one of our weak points. We'll locate a big buck. We'll go in there together. We'll really tactically work that woods together and pound that woods. But something in our head, after we've done a full day of that, we feel like we need to, it almost feels like we got to get the hell out of there for a while. How often do you hit, if you know there's a good one in an area, how you hit it hard and then you give it a little rest, or what do you do? I mean, we don't want to over.
The only time I would give it a rest is if there's a million people.
Yep. Okay. Then there's not where we are. I mean, there's just we're in a hellhole. So, and we're not jumping anything. I don't know why in our heads we're like we blew the woods out. We got to give it a rest. So
I don't want to say they're following you, right? But people notice where you are and what you're doing.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful about that a little bit.
Yeah.
And don't want to burn a spot out to the people who hunt there locally all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because you have that one tree stand dude that's been going there forever, and when he sees me for the 4th time that day,
he doesn't.
Or sees me and then one of the boys and then Jimmy and then somebody else, right? It's like I feel bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So might leave it alone for a day or two, and hopefully he kills it.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But then again, I don't know how many times we were dragging and got a shot in another one, like this year, right? See, we're going along, and it's like, Jeremiah, what are you doing? Get out there and, look, because we could see another. There's 4 or 5 buck in here.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't stop looking. And while we were dragging, right out in front of us, pow, he shoots at him. Yeah. Jimmy didn't get his safety off. He'd have had a shot too. Right? Like it goes to show, a good buck spot's a good buck spot, and they will use that. And they may be here, 4 of them are in a spot today, and tomorrow there ain't a soul.
Yeah.
Yep.
Either with hunters or with deer. Sometimes the deer will just nothing. And you'll go back for 3 days straight, and nothing has been there. And it was mobbed 3 days before that.
Yep.
And everything is shifted. The doe is moved, or she's not in heat anymore, or there was some extra pressure of some kind, and they all adjusted, and they're all over somewhere else. The party moves throughout the woods.
Yeah.
And you got to be mobile and go with it as best you can.
Yep.
And sometimes there's nothing you can do, like the other guys on the deer today, so I guess we're going to drive off.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or he missed the track. He's in front of us, drives down the road, looks over everything, drives off, keeps going, and I'm like, oh, you missed it right here. Hop out, look at it. Yep, that's it right there. You're sure. Jimmy will say, you're sure. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm pretty sure, because that definitely wasn't here an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
That's it right there. And go in the woods, and yep, right here.
Oh, wow.
And then he's like, right? He's mad. Okay, I'll go up further, right? And we did that a whole bunch of times and just couldn't close the deal. But boy, that thing was right there.
Yeah.
And to have 2 that are really nice, and to get 3-4 chases a year, I'm happy.
Oh yeah.
Just to chase a super deer, I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Do you think those legends, even if another buck pushes them out, or you get a bunch of pressure in there, do you think they typically will always come back to that area if that's their comfort zone?
The escape routes, yes.
Okay.
The escape routes, they don't abandon escape routes.
Yeah.
It worked every single time in the past. It'll work now.
Yep.
He never died. So it's always worked for him. And you'll have to kill him on one of them escape routes. And if he runs to a cliff and stands on the edge and looks back, boy, that's where you're going to shoot him. If he jumps down off it the next time and he's headed for the cliff this time, let him go to the cliff. Just don't shove him.
Yeah.
Swing to the side and come up the downwind side of the edge and catch him, either down over or on it. Right? If he's a cliff deer. If you got a deer that keeps jumping a river in the same place, keeps crossing in the same place, you're going to have to be there.
Yep.
And if he's out there poking around and he says, oh, I just hit him, and you're out here paralleling the river a half mile from it, he's out in front of you ways and he hits it and it does one of these, and you go like that and you know the spot and you get your butt over there and here he comes and boom.
Game over.
That's right. That kind of, wingman.
True.
Wingman thing. Oh, that works for us a lot of times.
Yeah,
it is.
It is. It's so effective.
Yeah.
Bernier talked about it in his books for a million years. Him and his dad.
Yes.
His dad would just be right behind him. Wouldn't always be out to the side.
Yep.
Wingman, it would be behind him. And while he was doing his thing and turning, and the track snakes, right?
Yep.
So all those elbows are opportunities. When the track snakes, all those elbows are opportunities for the wingman to close. And if the deer, you know how deer does a J, right? Does a hook and downwind and takes it easy. And here's the wingman right out here, and here's the hook, and boom, boom, pow, pow.
Yep. I was just in Standish Saturday, and I thought about Bernier, and I wonder how his old man's doing. And it was so sad that happened.
Legendary.
Yeah.
They've been hunting a long time,
Yeah.
and they were nice enough to share a lot of really good stuff. And,
yeah.
And they were some of the first like tracking books to come out, and I've got them. I've got most all of them.
Yep.
That's what when Taylor screwed up his ankle and.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
He drops me off.
Yeah.
And I take this track and I start into the bushes. And I start to the west side of the road, and the road goes north-south. And he swings down to the next available right and gets out in front of me a little bit with the truck. And then he parks on a dead end and hops out. And my track is headed right towards him.
Yep.
And I run into a bunch of doe. And I'm thinking, I hope he's right here with them, because he'd been doing a bunch of circling, but he wasn't. And the does all move off. I filmed them a little bit, and they all moved off, and I kept trucking. And I get up there, and Taylor's got my track. So I come right in behind him, and, of course, his ankle's screwed up. So I'm saying, he's not going to go very far. We'll be good.
Yep.
And he also, I know he doesn't have his radio. He forgot his radio.
Okay.
Now, he told me this when he had the truck radio. And I had mine, and I was in the woods. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not leaving Taylor today, because if he screws his ankle up more, I'm not leaving him.
No.
And there's a deer in here anyway, so I'm good. So, the boys can do whatever they want, but if Taylor jumps out of the truck, I'm in here with him.
Yeah.
So he's limping along and going, and, geez, he goes a half mile, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe how far. And he's hunting this buck. And I'm coming up behind him, and I'm looking at him hunt the deer, and I'm seeing all the other deer activity that's around there, and I'm just letting him hunt. So while he's hunting, I peel off to the right and peel off to the left and take a bunch of tracks and runways and go looking, and I'm doing the downwind swing. Most of the time I'm on the downwind to him, and I leave his track and come back to his track and leave his track and hook way out around 400 or 500 yards, 600 yards, and then circle back, and next thing I know, I come right back, and boy, I could have swore my ear hit a branch, and I could have swore I heard a shot. I hear this boom, and I'm like, man, was that a shot? And it impacted. I only have one ear. I'm like Rick.
Yep.
We only have one ear, right? Yeah. We're the one ear twins.
Together, you guys are unstoppable.
I don't know if he's the left or the right, though.
Probably the
we'll
same
have
as
to
you.
find out.
Gotta
I'm
be the
left.
same.
Right,
Gotta
probably
be
the same.
He could just walk backwards.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shit. I'm going, and I come back onto his track again after hearing the boom. And then I hear, ooh, and he howls. And I said, that's got to be Taylor. And while I'm standing there listening, Jeremiah, he's a ranger that we hunt with. He's off to the side, probably 3/4 of a mile. They drop him off, I don't know, a mile or more from us. And he's headed in our direction a little bit, just looking. And he says, I could have swore I just heard a howl, he says on the radio. And I'm not saying anything. And Jimmy and Ryan have taken off with a Suburban, and they're like 8 or 9 miles from us, way up on another hill. But they come in on that hill.
Yep.
They just happen to be in a place where they could hear us on the radio, and they're like, boy, sounds like somebody has shot something. And I'm just listening. I'm not saying a word. And then I hear it again. And so I howl back, and it turns out Taylor's right there, like 300 yards.
Oh, no shit. Yeah.
So I come down through the bushes, and I get down to him, and he's all happy, right? And we get up to him, and I said, I'm not leaving you, dude. I was not going to leave you.
Yep.
And I've been right behind you the whole time. And he's like, I was so mad that you were going to miss out, right? And I was like, no, I was right behind you the whole time.
So incredible.
So that wingman thing is a super good working method.
Yeah.
And sometimes you, especially if you're up close, you decide who's going to be doing the shooting.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that really matters safety-wise. Last thing you want to do is step in front of somebody who's already aiming at a deer.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Right? That's where that double teaming, you be careful. Right? The guy in the back's generally not shooting.
Yeah.
And
so if you get a guy, so say that last year Taylor was slower. You're obviously fast. I'm slow. He's fast. Who do you put where, as far as physical ability goes?
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
If you're going to do the shooting,
Yeah.
we're going your pace.
Yep. Okay.
Don't let the guy behind you
Dictate.
influence
Yeah.
you, which is easy to do.
I
It's
think
very
many
easy.
times I could have been on your tail, kind of just following behind you, doing my thing. Because, man, sometimes you chase them and they double back on themselves. They go.
Many times. Yeah.
We never
Yeah.
seem to do that.
The
But
penalty's death.
Oh,
when
yeah.
they're walking back on your tracks, son of a gun, right? You want them dead then.
for sure.
And it could very well work out.
Nothing better than hearing your hunting buddy go.
That's what I was gonna say, yeah.
It's incredible.
100%.
I know a lot of guys like, the whole idea of being a lone wolf and tracking one X amount of miles, but when you got a buddy with you that you can hear the shot go off, is there anything better than that, you think, Rodney? I don't think so.
If it's your son,
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
True.
your daughter, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you hear boom, boom, boom over on that mountain. Nothing better than listening to Casey cut loose with that pump.
Yeah.
Pow, 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 right? And then just,
Yeah.
although lately he's just doing it all in one shot. It's just boom and done. And, let's go look at it. Right?
We come out of service last year, and my dad had shot one. Dad's pretty cool when Dad shoots one too.
That's right.
Because we get the angry voicemail. Where the hell are you? And it's just this guy here. You got to tell him to keep carrying his gun. Because if I shoot one, I mean, we got videos of like you just ran like 3 miles in the woods like in 5 minutes to get to me. He's just done hunting, and he's just gonna run.
Yeah. Trying to get to you. Oh, that day. I mean, that was first week there anyways.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Huh. I was very thankful to have him because it was a long drag, couple mile drag.
It's good when you have somebody that can move and can really locate you too, right?
For sure.
Like your navigation skills and being able to pinpoint where somebody is and then get to them. Oh, is that valuable?
Yeah, Onyx has a new thing. Of course, it doesn't work in Maine because there's no service, but you can pretty much you can tell where your buddy is now.
Yeah,
that's kind of nice, but it doesn't not going to work where we are. But
right.
But what do you guys use for radios? Just because I noticed you guys get pretty good reception. I mean,
they're all junk.
Yeah.
Like every radio in the world is junk.
Yeah.
Because they won't sell you the wattage that you really need.
Yeah, true.
Right. You need something with the highest wattage you can. Whether it's UHF or VHF, it's got to be high wattage because that's where the real power is. Mm-hmm. Right? Is if they'll sell a family radio at like 0.2. Yeah. Right? Like, and that's for like 100 yards around the house for your kids.
Yeah.
And then when you get into stuff that'll transmit a little bit farther, whether it's a brand, the Motorola's were awesome when they first came out, and they really beat the CB radio. I started with the CB radio all them years ago. Like big, gigantic, like 3.5 foot, pull it out, telescoping, antenna that ended up broke in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But we started with those, then worked over to the Motorola's, which were kind of heavy, and then ended up going with what's the other brand there? That's more common now. You see a lot of them.
Not Rocky Talkie.
That's what we.
That's
use,
what we
the
got.
Rocky Talkies.
Yeah,
those are good.
Yeah. I never did.
You want to hear a good logging conversation with some Frenchmen talking about sharpening chains and stuff.
Sure.
Into some pretty good conversations out there.
Well, yeah, anything a logger uses is going to be a radio that works.
Oh, yeah.
Because, their life depends on it.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so you got to have a really good radio.
For sure.
Some of the ones we have now, son of a gun, I don't know why I can't think of it.
Motorola, I don't know. Is there one right there?
Oh, yes, this is it right here.
Yep.
Midlands.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah,
Midlands,
we've got some of the Midlands, and
those
those have been really good. Water type.
Oh, yeah.
Tight radios is always good in case you dropped in a brook, in case you fell down in the water or anything like that. The other thing is I want one that runs on double A's. Mm-hmm. You can have a rechargeable or whatever, but if the recharger goes wrong or you end up using it all day and now you have to use it for half the night, you want to be able to switch it out with your other stuff. So I can run double A's in my Garmin. I can run double A's in that. Run double A's in my flashlight and my charger for my phone if I needed that as well.
Yeah.
The most important thing about radios isn't so much it's that number one, you learn how to use them. Learn the limitations of your radio.
Yeah.
So that when you're going over a ridge and you know you're going to be out of radio range, you'll take care of the conversation and you'll get all of your plan laid out before you get to a spot where it doesn't work. The other thing is some radios, we've had quite a few of them over the years where some was a receiver, some was a listener.
Yep. Okay.
Right?
Yep. Yep.
You know, and then others were a talker.
Okay.
I don't know how many times I had to have a talker and a receiver and use the two of them because neither one of them would work right. And we got them wet. We dropped them. We did all kinds of things to them over the years. Those Midlands have been the very best.
Okay.
We've had good luck with those.
Yep.
And same thing, UHF or VHF didn't matter. They all work pretty well.
Okay.
And we've had good luck with them brand-wise.
Yeah. Everybody's
Now-
always asking us about, and you know, we tried the Rocky Talkies, but we really haven't had much success with anything else. But we never tried those. So
The other thing is you do your truck talk in your vehicle. So you keep, as soon as you have two rigs and you're leaving camp, you turn your radios on. You have to have radio communication between the two vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And then if somebody forgot something, if you need to turn around, you didn't buy gas, there's a bad road, there's an accident, there's a moose up ahead, whatever. I don't know how many times the radio has saved a vehicle.
yeah.
So it can save your vehicle, and you want your radio on in the vehicle.
Yep.
You want it on. The other thing is you want your radio on when you leave the vehicle. Like, say, Adam drops you off.
Yep.
Right? Leave your radio on for a half hour right first thing. And especially with tracking, because if you jump out and you start in, he drives down and your butt comes back out, he can say, no, he crossed the road up here a half mile, I'll be right back to get you.
Yep.
If you go out dead silent and just go out there radioless,
Yep.
you're going to walk a long ways for nothing.
Yeah.
And
True.
it saves time.
True.
The other thing is, we've had this happen a million times. The guy got out of the rig, we drove away, a giant buck crossed right in front of us and went right into the woods in front of him, and the radio wasn't on, and we couldn't even tell him about it.
Shit. Yeah.
Right? And you should have your radio on. So like the first 20 minutes of going into the woods, have your radio on. The other thing is during the day, you have a check-in time when you're definitely going to check in with everybody for sure
Yep.
if you're bored or whatever. Now, I know some people are radio crazy and they talk too much, and some people don't hardly ever talk enough and don't keep going.
Yeah.
So make sure you're not either one of those.
Yeah.
You want to be a guy who checks in or whatever, and you know what the deal is. Now, one of the problems with a radio is that it'll get you out of the woods. I'm not seeing anything,
Yeah.
right? You just started in.
True.
The other guy, I'm not seeing anything. And next thing you know, you're out of the woods and you're in the truck, right? And you need to, if you want to stay in the woods, sometimes the radio can get you out of there. So you don't want that to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the other thing is it can also change your day. It can change the course of your decisions. Just like the guy walking behind you when you're double teaming can change how the guy in the front walks.
Yeah.
The radio can change when you hear somebody else's downbeat or something. It changes your attitude.
Yeah.
So, like, radios are trouble sometimes.
Yep.
Now, I don't know how many times I was standing there at prime, perfect everything. There's deer right here, and the radio goes off.
Yeah.
So, like, knowing when to turn your radio off and when to turn it on really matters. And most of the time, when you have hunted with somebody for a while, you'll develop a system, and you'll be able to say, oh, it's time to talk.
Yep.
Use the force a little bit, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
I know, I better turn the radio on for the next little while here, and I'll just listen for 10 minutes and see if I hear anybody, because it feels like I need to talk to everybody, which means they probably feel the same exact thing.
True.
Just like when you all want to lay down in the woods, all the deer want to lay down at the same time. There's like this thing going on. The weather picked up.
Yeah.
The wind blew in. A front suddenly showed up out of nowhere. It starts pouring snow or something. Turn your radio on.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
True.
I don't know how many times conditions were totally different a mile from me where Jimmy was or something. He can't even see. And he's like, screw this. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then I happen to have the radio on and happen to be listening, but I'm busy and got stuff going on. So,
Yeah.
like, have a check-in time, noon or whatever, where I'll at least check in.
Yep.
The other thing is sometimes a person will talk and another person can hear him, but he can't hear back.
Yep.
That happens a
Yep.
lot.
That happens a
So
lot.
say you're out there and you've got a deer down and you're not hearing anything, keep talking
Okay.
because they might be trying to zero in on you.
Yeah. True.
And sometimes, like, they hear you, like, in the rig, because they're moving, they hear a little crackle. Oh, there was something. So they stop the rig, and then they back up, and they listen and try and get in that same exact spot where they heard that sound.
Yep.
Like, how you use your radio is way more important than the kind you use.
Yep. Do you guys have an oh shit signal in case the radios fail you and somebody's out there? Do you have like a certain amount of gunshots or anything that you do?
Well, we have a plan. You have to have a plan.
Yep.
Right. So at the end of the day, if we're not hearing anybody, if we're not able to talk for some reason, or we're not where we're supposed to be, like, we want to be on a road.
Mm-hmm.
Come dark, I want to be on a road. And if I'm not on a road, I'm going to get to the closest road I can.
Yep.
In the dark, I want to make sure and get to the road as quick as you can, because now I can be found. And if my radio's dead, can't talk to a soul, now I go to the cell phone.
Yep.
Right. If I have to leave somebody a text, I'll leave them a text.
Yep.
Anything. If it's all you got's text, do that.
Yep.
Don't forget to check that. Check the radio. Check the cell phone. The guys with the rhinos, that, of course, right. So all of that combined stuff. Make sure you go through and check all your tools. Mm-hmm. I will also, when we do come out on a road and everyone knows the area where I was dropped off, and say there's like 3 different spider roads out around me, now we're going to drive every one of those looking for them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's 3 dead ends and there's a huge space out beyond, when you get to the dead end at the top of the hour and the bottom of the hour, so say I'm looking for you, and you're out there someplace, and it's 6 o'clock, and you haven't come out of the woods since, like, it's been dark since 5 or 4:30.
Yep.
And you haven't been out for an hour and a half, and I've ridden all 3 roads, and I'm not finding you. And it's 6 o'clock right now. I stop on the landing, and I just listen. And you fire a shot at the top of the hour.
Okay.
And at the bottom of the hour, 6 o'clock, 6:30, whatever, you fire that shot, I'm listening, and now I know you're out there.
Okay.
You're out there, and I can at least get a sound listen to where you are.
Yeah.
So we try and have a plan of what we would do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because things are going to happen.
It does, yeah. Mm-hmm. You might track a buck too long, and you might, anything could happen. Snap an ankle, light goes out, everything. I mean, there's so much bad shit that can. I mean, I called him a couple of years ago and said, this is where my carcass is if I fall off I was ledged out, and I was scared.
Right.
I mean, I got out of the woods. I calmed down and got out of the woods, but, like, I was fucking scared.
You're a bad spot after dark.
Oh, it was
now,
bad.
there are times, too, when it's the vehicle that doesn't show.
Yeah.
You're out there, and there's no vehicle.
Yep.
And, like, what will I do if I hit the road? Yep, Teresa, she just headed back up to the house. She's like, I'm going up to the house. I'm like, okay. If I get out to the road and I'm at the landing and no one has showed, I'll do something. I'll leave a marker of some kind at the landing.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll take a pile of stones and put a stick in the middle and take a piece of surveyor's tape and tie it. So there's some kind of thing of I was right here. Yep. I'll write an arrow in the dirt and write Rod with an arrow in the dirt, and I'm walking down the road.
Yeah.
And then when they come through and they see that and they start looking and, oh, Dad's gone this way, here's the tracks, right? I'll do that a lot of times when I'm in an area loaded with roads and the boys drop me off over here and I've gone a fantastic distance, and now I haven't been able to talk to them. Either they've gone hunting a different area or they're in a bowl where they can't talk to them. And if I bust out on a road, you'll see this big mark in the dirt with an arrow, and it'll be an R there, and that's where Rodney's gone, right? We used to, when we didn't have radios, that's what we did.
Yeah.
We had no other way of communicating with anybody, so we'd leave some signs in the road of some kind.
Yep.
And then if I'm definitely going to be out on a certain road, I tell everybody, I'll be back on this road.
Yeah.
And then when I do hit the road, if I'm exhausted, the rig still isn't there yet, I don't know where they are, but I am on the road, it's a dead end, well, I'll walk to the first junction. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to walk much past that because they're expecting me.
Yeah, it doesn't do you much good.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm staying where at least somebody can come along. I'm not going to jump in a rig and go riding off, and then they can't find me at all. Because I don't know how many times that's happened to people as well over the years. And not necessarily to us, but we came on to somebody and their truck broke down or something happened, and you end up missing each other somehow. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, we also develop we don't leave anybody in the woods. Like, if there's 2 rigs with 6 guys, the 2 rigs are not leaving the woods until we know.
Everybody.
So we say, here's a major intersection. We'll meet you there at dark.
Okay.
So the trucks meet up at dark as well.
Good plan.
And then if one truck can't find somebody way out in the bushes, now we can all go.
Yeah.
And we're not leaving them headed to camp, come back, an hour and a half later, the 20 miles or whatever, to get back to here to start in again.
Oh, man.
And don't want to do that. Do not want to do that. So we don't, if their rig is broke down someplace and they don't show, now we're going to begin looking for them. But we'll leave a sign at our intersection.
Yep.
And we'll try the radio nonstop all the time, listening and talking. Now, each vehicle, if you are broadcasting and no one's listening to you, say your location, say where you're going to go, say your condition and how you are.
Yep.
And don't stop doing it.
Nope.
I'm over here. I'm on this mountain. I'm headed south. I'm headed for this road. I've got a deer. I'm tired.
Yep.
It's raining, and I can't find my way through there, and I'm going to be a little late. And we just keep repeating it over and over and over.
Yeah.
Because if they can only hear, but they can't talk back to me, and I can't hear them. See, you don't always know the person you're talking to can hear you or not.
Yeah.
But we at least in the truck, we're driving up this road, we're coming around the corner. We'll be higher here. If you can hear us right now, let us know. We'll be up there in a little while. So we continue to broadcast, thinking and acting like somebody can hear us.
Yep, absolutely.
The other thing is if you're messed up, Jimmy and I had this happen once. We had the battery dead in the truck.
Okay.
We had no one to save us. We didn't have no other friends. There's nobody out there. And I'm like, let's just try the radio. So I went every channel. Anybody out there?
Yeah.
We're right here. Anybody out there? We're right here. And I went through 3 channels, and all of a sudden this guy comes on. And he says, well, how's it going? I said, well, any chance that you're near us? And I started talking to him because we left our keys in the truck on, and the battery's dead now, and we could use a jump. And he says, yeah, I'll be right over there in about 6 minutes. I'm coming right up the road, right? He had a radio frequency, and I thought, let's just check the radio. So I started going through all those channels.
Yep.
It's worth a try.
Good plan, because it had been a long night
Right.
there. Holy cow.
Right.
Yeah.
And we got out of that in 15 minutes.
Can't beat that. That's some good technical stuff right there that a lot of people overlook and don't think about right there.
It really does matter.
Yeah,
it does matter. It'll make your day or ruin your day.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
And it's amazing how many people don't plan for that. And we don't plan as good as we should.
No.
Because we go our separate ways, and we're got a head of steam, and come dark, where's Adam? I don't fucking know. Well, then we can't get a hold of him, and it's not good. We got to get better about that.
Yeah.
And the more mobile you are, the deeper into the garbage you can get.
Oh, yeah.
The farther into the bushes and the more screwed up you can get.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple of nights.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't want to do that.
I mean,
when you're absolutely spent, and then you got to go in and look for your buddy, that's not a good recipe that's a recipe for a broken leg.
Yeah, your rig's, down a 4-mile road, buried.
Yeah.
You can't get out of there.
No.
It's Thanksgiving night, and now you have to walk to the blacktop. And there's nobody on the road Thanksgiving night. And now you walk down the blacktop another 6 miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So, when you're already spent and you hunted all day, and it's really, really cold and windy, oh, boy. Right? So always keeping that stuff with you all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Just have a plan. And, worst case scenario, stick with your rig.
Yeah.
You can always find a vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's the first thing
good
you would
stuff.
find.
That's good nitty gritty right there. I like that. Yeah. If you guys are listening, note that for your season coming up. That's big stuff right there.
Save you some money.
Yeah.
Tow trucks.
Yeah. And note that you're not going to, more times than not, you're not going to be able to start a fire out there unless you really know what you're doing.
And even then, it takes a monstrous fire to keep you warm if it's windy. If it's windy, forget it. You won't even hardly stay warm.
Yep.
Keeping your clothes dry is your number one way to survive.
Mm-hmm. Back in the 50s and 60s, my great-grandfather had this idea grew up in the Mad River Valley, and he had this idea he was going to go up on horseback and hunt deer, stay up in the woods overnight. And he went up there with his horse, and he realized that keeping a fire going all night is not good. Come next morning, he went home and went to bed. He didn't get to hunt because he was exhausted. He couldn't keep it going enough all night to keep himself
warm. It takes a lot of wood in the outdoors. My God.
Oh, yeah.
Chews it right up.
So
I wanted to talk about how you said dry clothes are your biggest thing. I know you put a little thing out, I think it was during the season or just before the season, about after say a rainy night or a snowy night, avoiding that brush just to keep your pants and the lower half of you dry is how it's crazy how much more comfortable you can be throughout the day. Because if you're soaking wet in 30 minutes, I don't care if you're wearing wool, polyester, synthetic, wet is wet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's not fun. And you put a thing out I remember listening to a while ago that just keeping your pants dry and stuff like that, if you can avoid it, how much of a difference that makes on your day.
Oh, sure.
Changes your whole mind up.
Yeah.
Really
I got
does.
that from my dad. He was crazy about not wanting to be wet.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you're dry, you're good for the entire day. You can stay out in the woods a whole day always. And you'll make it through the night, usually, if you can stay dry.
Yep.
You know, and if you're dry and all of a sudden the weather kicks in and you whip out your trash bag, your big construction trash bag, and you cut a hole for your face and you pull it over your body, and now it could pour all night and you're still dry, and the plastic's going to hold the heat in and get rid of all the water, and you'll have a miserable night, but you'll make it.
You'll live.
It's and if you're, most of the time, if you have to spend the night in the woods, you've hurt something.
Yep.
You've hurt your ankle, you've hurt your body somehow.
Yeah.
And building a shelter is not possible. Going and getting firewood and keeping a fire going when you're hurt, it's not really possible.
No.
That night that Taylor was out there on that first night, ooh,
Oh, I bet.
and as we're going back up in there, and I said, whoa, and we're a long ways. And it's walk, everything, and it's like, oh, it's a long ways. This, and even I went, ooh. And,
Good thing
and
he's in such good shape to begin with,
yeah.
because he was able to help himself.
And he's like, you guys weren't coming to get me. And I'm like, it would not have been fun. We would have come and got you, but it wouldn't. I know where he was, and I'm like, oh, I went around that. I'm like, no, I'm not going through that.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, you know, those things will.
How long did it take him? I mean, the video shows it, but how long did it take him to get out of the woods after he hurt himself?
Well, it was around 1 or so.
Yeah.
So, and he got to us at 4.
Wow.
And he only had to go about 1.25 miles
Jesus.
to get to us.
Yeah.
And then it was 2 miles to the rig after that.
Yeah.
But it's road.
Yeah.
But still, wow.
Yeah,
That was a
bad
wower.
angle.
That was a wower.
Yeah.
That was a wower.
For sure. For sure.
And, of course, if you are out there with just 2 guys, it's not as good as 4.
No.
It's
for
just
sure.
not as good as 4.
Yeah.
And if you're out there by yourself,
Yeah, you're
Oh,
taking your
boy.
life in your hands.
that's right,
For
for
sure.
certain.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's not a small thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just to get you in tons of trouble. I'm just going over here. I'm just going to walk up in here a little bit. I'm just going to do this. I don't need this. I don't need that. Next thing you know, oh boy.
Yeah.
I'll
He's
wear
still
my
young
clothes.
enough. This spring we were having a day where we weren't finding any moose sheds, and he just got in his head, I'm gonna fucking walk till I find one. And he was the next zip code over. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
holy fuck. Ain't nobody gonna come drag you out of there. But he's young
Right.
enough where he could probably hop out if he had to. But
Right. Yeah.
but
It's
yeah.
like 2 jets taking off from the carrier, right? When you're out over the ocean, when you get to bingo, you got to be able to come home.
you gotta come home.
and
Yep.
and you don't want to come home at halfway.
Yeah.
Because you burned everything, and if you make a mistake on the way home, now you're even
really
more done.
fucked.
Right. So like, and
Yeah.
then if you got one wing shot off, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like one of those things.
Yeah.
You got, and a lot of people don't know their bingo point, and a lot of times it's farther. You got more in your tank than you think you do.
Yep. Big time.
But there's some people I've seen kind of lose it, and they were done way before their body was done, their mind was done. I can't go anymore. And
yeah.
I'm like, man, that deer's right here, and it's hurt really bad, you
Yeah.
know. And here we are, and you can't do any more. You can't. No, I can't. Okay, well, I guess we're going home. Coyote's got to eat too.
Ugh.
So we went home. Not my decision. That was his call.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, okay, so everybody's different.
Yep.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, you got to
For
know
sure.
your breaking points and your turnaround points and all that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the only way you get to know like what you're really good for is to try.
Yeah.
Push your limits.
Yep.
Not
And those
yeah.
type of people attract each other.
some
Like me
ways.
and him we'll go till we're dead. And when we interact with people that are apt to quit, we don't want to interact with them too long. It's just like, if you're not gonna be able to rely on them. So, and there could be great people, but they're not ones you want to hunt with.
Right.
So
The other thing that's really nice is if you have someone who is really capable and you say, hey, even sometimes if you just talk to them, that can be enough. Like if you got cell phone service and you don't feel like you can make it and you're on the edge of BMS, call somebody.
that's what I did that night with him when I called him and said, this is where
Yes.
I am and I'm fucked and
Yep.
I'm going to make it. But he just calmed me right down. And
And he can also get to you. Like
Yep.
in the back of your mind, he can get to you.
Yeah.
Hey, if I have to call somebody to come and get me,
Yeah.
I would call Donnell. I would call Keith.
oh, yeah.
And they will come right to me.
Oh, yeah.
Right to me. Like wherever I am, they will find me and get me there. And they also know if they call me, I don't care if he's in Maine right now and I'm in Vermont. I'm going to be there.
They're coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming, right? 4 hours, I'm coming. Yeah. I'll be there.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And that's really nice to be able to do that. I've worked with some search and rescue stuff where state police, they'll be lucky to find your rig.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Like the amount of in the woods they have been
Oh, yeah. No, it's not.
eye-rolling.
No.
Got to have that good manpower around you.
You really do.
The
You
wardens
really
are
do.
a big part of, their capabilities because it wasn't for the wardens. Oh, boy.
Oh.
For all the wood stuff, like skiers on Killington, stuff
yeah.
like that. It's a warden that says, where's the ping? These are the coordinates right here.
Yep.
Go to this road, go straight here. This is your bearing.
Yep.
Right? And he can tell you right here. That's nice. When you have someone that you can call that will.
It's good to have some crazy guys. Like when we needed Ian, he was right there.
Yeah.
He had a motor. He had a motor. He had, he's just, he'll drop everything and come,
Even
need
some
those
good
people.
advice.
Yeah.
Even some good advice. A
Yeah.
lot of times we'll do it, right?
For sure.
Like he'll give you an alternative that you hadn't thought of.
Yep.
That calm, cool decision-making thing from somebody else is great.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's a good discussion right there. I like that. There's a lot of podcasts, deer hunting and stuff. Everybody wants to hear the stories and stuff, but it's that type of nitty gritty that you got to get into.
If you've never done it before and you're going to go up there and go to a big chunk of woods or do this,
Yeah. No, you're not going to.
it's you got to get ready for it, and you got to think about it a little bit, and you got to practice it too. Practice all your different skills, because without that practice, when you come to apply it, you won't feel as confident, and you may make a mistake or second guess yourself. Now you're even more screwed, because now you can't even depend on you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking to you about like visualizing and stuff, manifesting and stuff like that a while back, and I want you to know that since we had that talk, it's happened to me a few times where I'm like, I do it all the time, but a few times I've been like, all right, I'm going to close my eyes. This is what's going to happen. It might not happen right now, but it's going to happen. And I'll open my eyes and I'll look over and there's a shed laying there, or I'll go over the next rise and there's a deer there. So it's like, there's something to that. There
Yes.
is definitely something to that.
Right? There's some feel to things.
Oh yeah.
Right?
For sure.
How many times do you say, I knew that was going to happen? You had a feeling.
Yep.
People do that all the time about all kinds of things.
And if not, it's a good reset. If it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
happen, it's a good mental reset.
Well, sure. It
know?
also like separates you from it a little bit, so you're not emotionally connected to it.
Yep.
And now you're able to like finish going through, and then I left him over here because of this, and there's my car keys.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right. All of a sudden, boom! What you're looking for is closer than you think it is.
For sure.
That's the way to think about it.
Yes.
It's closer than you think it is, and a lot of times when you're off a little bit, it's like a golfer, right? If he twists his club a 32nd, it
yeah.
makes it way off down there.
Yep.
So, like, you're only a little bit off, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? A 32nd to 300 yards is 30 yards,
Yes.
right? So, like, let's think about it. You're only a little bit off, and you're only missing by a small amount.
Yep.
And a lot of times people don't know how much
Oh yeah.
ability they actually have. And they limit themselves, and they like it.
Yeah. But no, that last year I think we had talked about it, and like literally that night I went home, got in the tree stand, and I said, "This is what's going to happen. Deer's going to come out this time. It's going to come through here. I'm going to." It like literally happened exactly like I pictured it.
Yep.
I don't know if that was just
Well,
luck,
my
but
past
it doesn't
season
seem
this
it.
year, right? I go out. No. I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, no, don't care.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, oh, look at that thing. Oh, no, yeah, whoa, here we go. So you start falling a little bit. Oh man, and even Jimmy's like, you see the size of that thing? I'm like, yeah, that thing's wicked, right? Then we're poking around a little bit, and I'm like, this doesn't feel right. My deer meter points me in a different direction, so I'm like, I hate to tell you guys, but I'm out of here. My deer meter's pointing the other way. I'm going to go this way. Okay, I'll see you over here. Okay. So I take off, and I go about 1.5 miles north, and I bust into this other chunk of woods, and here we go. And it's the lesser of the two, but and it's smoking, and he's right here. And I poke around, and I'm so close, and it's dark, and I have to quit. Next morning, I want to go back in there. So I get back over there. There's a track. Everyone's driven over it. Nobody's taking it. That's him. This feels right. He's crossed the road 6 times. This one right here just feels right. Get out on that thing, go in the woods a little bit. Oh, he's right here. right here. Oh, that thing's right here. And he's chasing these 2 doe all over the place. So I go into the woods a little bit. I look up, and I hear some sticks breaking. And I look ahead of me, and there's 2 moose legs running through. And then I hear crash, crash, crash closer to me. And I'm like, man, that is right here. So I just kind of lift my gun a little bit, and I get both hands on it, and I'm watching. And it's like, how can that be making so much noise? And it's right here, and I can't see it. I should be able to see it. And I'm like, what is the problem? And I'm looking through the brush, and then I see an ear move. And I said, oh, it's deer. So I lean over a little bit, and I look, and it's a doe. And she's kind of on alert, like she's been running. And then her fawn is right down a little bit, and I can see their 2 heads, and they're a little bit of a gully. So I'm just standing there watching them, and I'm saying, that buck has got to be right here with him. He's been everywhere. It's just a barnyard in there. Mm-hmm. And they've been circling around. And I lean back a little bit, and I look, and then this guy starts shooting a pistol. He's like 400 or 500 yards away, and I can hear pow, like a 9mm or something. Mm-hmm. And the deer are listening to him. And I said, screw it. I'm filming.
Yeah.
And I said, he'll wait for me. So I'm filming. And the does are there, and I'm filming them, and I'm watching it. And then all of a sudden they get nervous, and they turn, and they come up the bank, and they roar out of there a little bit, just kind of jumping easy, just do. And out of the brush where between me and them comes a set of antlers, and I'm like, oh, right there. Well, I'm doing this, and I've got my gun right here, and I'm doing this, and I've got my gun across my elbow, and I'm holding my phone sideways, and I've got him, and I said, he'll stop, and he runs right up and comes to a stop and does one of these, and the rack is like this, right? And I'm like, oh, that's him. Oh, that thing is big. I got to put the phone away because he's going to stop and I'm going to shoot him. So he comes to a stop, and I put that phone in my pocket and lift up my gun, and he takes off, and he goes down this little tiny aisle, and I've got just this little window to shoot through, and I put the crosshairs right there and pull the trigger, and I clip the side of a tree. I don't know it at the time. The thing runs off. He doesn't run far because I didn't hit him.
Yep.
So I get over there, and I'm looking, and I'm not finding any blood, and now I can't tell what track is his. He's going back to walking, and I can't tell, and I'm worried sick that I'm not gonna be able to do anything about it.
Yeah.
But the whole season before it started and everything, I said, I'm gonna see a giant. I'm gonna get him on film, and then I'm gonna shoot at him, and he will stop. And all those things did happen.
Yeah.
I didn't say I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah, true.
Right? You have to be specific.
Yep.
So I'm over there, and I'm looking at it now, and I've only gone 300 yards, not even 150 yards from where I shot at him. It's taken me 45 minutes to go the 150 yards. Like looking and double checking and making sure no blood, no nothing. This is definitely his track. This is definitely their 2 tracks when they were running.
Yep.
This is all good. They pull up to some planted red pine, and they run into them, the does, and he goes walking up the side into a million of his tracks on the trail, and I'm screwed. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, stick with the ladies. He's going to come back to them.
Yep.
He likes them.
Yep.
He's been running with them. So I stick with them. I go in the woods. There they are. I'm like, oh, he's got to be right here. Come on. Attaboy. All I got to do is wait. Mm-hmm. And they walk, and go away. Nothing. I'm like, oh, man. This is classic Rodney, right? Yeah. But Jimmy's not too far away. Like, ooh, it ain't over yet. It's only 10.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So we into the bushes and almost and on top of the cliff and around and lay down and watch me walk right up to him and bust off and run. And the rest of the day I spent chasing him and had an absolute blast. Learned his every escape route.
Yep.
I know all about him and where he likes to run and how he gets away from everybody. I learned it all. And I've never played with this buck ever before that I know of.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever messed with him. But boy, he's a nice one.
He'll be there this year.
And then when I saw them all come into the yard, And I saw him come into the yard, and I'm like, oh, there he is.
Oh, my God.
And the round one comes in, and he walks into the yard too. And I said, oh, there he is. I'd have rather shot him.
Yeah.
Even though the other one is really a prettier, nicer rack.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, just gorgeous deer. You know, and that's the way it goes. And they're still alive, and I don't care. And it's cool. And I learned a few things about him. And now I know that when he's in that area with a ton of guys, this is how he gets away. And there's not a million people over there.
No.
So all I got to do is turn one of my boys loose over there and not tell him and go right over here.
Yeah.
Turn them into your beagles right there.
That's right.
Oh, hell yeah.
I got to
That's so
have an
awesome.
advantage of some kind.
For sure.
And they'll be glad to chase him to me.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
How
Yeah.
close was he to you when you had the good video going right there?
Probably about 50 yards.
Oh, so you got good video on
45 yards. Yeah, not bad. It's fast,
Yeah.
but
Is
it's
that
decent.
video hasn't come out yet, has it?
No.
Okay,
No.
you're going to get that.
Just, what a nice deer. Oh, yeah. Nice deer.
Oh,
man.
red alert.
Oh, probably a storm coming, huh?
Missing person, Williamstown. Might be my wife put one out on me.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Oh, that's crazy. That thing works.
Jeez. How would you summarize your deer season last year overall?
It was a little short because we left early. I normally like to stay there the whole season. And
Yeah.
we didn't get to. So that part. But like the best snow ever.
Yeah.
If you had to say, that's some of the best tracking snow we've ever had ever. You know, with
Absolutely.
lots of resets, lots of good workable snow. You know, snow conditions were awesome. The amount of logging was up a little bit, so you had to deal with trucks a little bit more.
Yep.
In our area we moved to, we had a lot of trucks, and I just hate meeting logging trucks.
It's scary.
I don't like being a bother to them.
No, and I also just don't want to be there when they're coming through. I don't want to meet them. I don't want that.
No.
You know, and it's not that I mind, but I don't.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I don't care for. The year before last, there was no logging, so it was awesome. That was the best.
For sure.
But
For sure.
I like more bare ground, and I didn't get to have much bare ground, and I like it, and I usually get a little bit, and I didn't so much this past year. But overall, you know, for us to get a couple 3 deer is pretty good out of 5 guys.
Yeah.
You know, in considering where you're hunting and the way things are, it's not an easy place to get a deer.
Not. Even though there's a ton of deer up there now, it's not really a ton. I
No.
mean, it's still very hard to get a deer up there.
Very hard.
Yeah.
You're lucky to see a buck.
Yes, yeah. Usually it still rings true. You're going to get one chance a week if you really hunt hard.
Yes.
That's what I've always found.
Yep.
You're going to get one some sort of half-assed
Run-in or
opportunity
something,
a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it ain't much sometimes.
No, a
Hell
flicker.
no.
You see an antler for a second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a buck.
Yeah.
You know, I could have shot it, didn't even know it was a buck till it jumped just right, and then oh man, it's a buck, and away it went.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. That kind of stuff. I didn't see any little buck. All I saw were big ones.
So you're in the right woods then this year.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a lot of good intel then going into next year, especially how you like to hunt those bigger ones, you know? Yeah.
For
Yep.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And all the buck I saw were good ones.
Yep.
That's
You
a
know,
good sign.
They were rackers.
Yeah.
You know, like Taylor's deer are bigger.
Oh yeah.
Every
Yeah.
one of them. You know, so that's
That
really
if you
good.
saw quick, you're shooting 10 times out of 10.
Oh yeah.
So
And to be there for 3 weeks and see 3 big buck
that's
besides
damn good.
what we shot.
Yeah.
That's really
That's
that's
damn
great.
good.
Yeah. Especially considering the amount of traffic.
Yeah.
You know, people traffic.
Yep.
There's so many hunters.
Yeah. There it
Crazy
is.
with hunters.
I still say that 80% of them are not going in far. It
No.
seems to me.
No.
I don't know.
Do you think, I feel like people have been saying that for a while now, that I feel like people are starting to branch out more than they used to. Would you guys agree? I know, like, yeah, a lot of guys are, driving around and going 200 yards in the woods, but I feel like between the podcast, social media, and everybody saying that, I feel like you're starting to see more dudes take that chance and going in farther.
They're
Running
braver.
people out farther. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a 30-year-old today and a 30-year-old when I started, those two people are way different
Yes.
hunters.
Yeah.
Because of all this extra help.
Yeah.
I would have killed to go to hunt stock when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My God. To be able to talk to so many good deer hunters.
When I was his age, I thought West Hobson was the only place to hunt deer, and I didn't know.
Me too.
You can go to other states. You could do I didn't know. Like we just didn't have anything to unless you had a real mentor that could really point you the right way.
Right.
They're so much further ahead than we were. you know.
The other thing is your public land will get more attention that way.
Yeah.
And when you have vast areas of public land, it gets lots of attention. The people who live there are like, listen to everybody getting our attention.
I know. I know.
So they may not feel so good about that. And
still
then
say,
you get
though,
corner crossing in Montana, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff that will end up happening a little bit, where people want to kind of. You don't want to spot burn.
No,
right?
you don't. Yeah.
Right? You know, because you have to pay respects to the guy who's been going up there his whole life.
Yeah.
You know, and I meet a ton of people, and they say to me, "There's a ton of people," and I'm like, "Dude, when I first came up here, that was a ton of people.
Yeah.
This is nothing."
Yeah.
You know, and by the way, how long you been hunting up here? And he says, "Oh, I just came up this year." Right? Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this is 30 years of me walking on these roads.
Yeah.
Right?
For every 10 people that go up there, I feel like 5 of them a couple of years later are going to Pennsylvania or somewhere where it's more target
It's
rich.
because you realize how hard it is. I mean, you can watch all the videos in the world and see success all the way through, and then you get up there and do it yourself, and you're like, where the fuck are the deer?
It'll never be
You know?
Disneyland.
No.
It will not.
No.
It's not going to be. No, it's
And
not Iowa.
I'll say it till I die. The people in Maine are so nice, because if you put the shoe on the other foot and all the Mainers were coming to Vermont, would we? I don't know. I feel like we're not as nice. I just feel like they always treat us so good up there. It's just, and they rely on for the economy, but it's always been a really good feeling up there. You know?
Land ethic will change compared to how much space you have.
Yeah.
Right? You know, when you're in New York City, you don't sit on somebody else's stoop.
Nope.
You know, their front steps are very important to them, and you just don't go there. And like where you want to draw the lines when it comes to a entire mountain range. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's different when you have space. You know, it's like, go. Even when we were in Ontario, they're like, just don't hunt in town.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Go in the woods. We don't care where you go in the woods.
Yeah.
Just go in the woods. Don't hunt in town.
Yeah.
Right? It was pretty simple.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And it does matter, you know.
For sure.
when people are nice about it, geez, you better appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody has to be.
No.
Nobody's got to be
no.
nice to anybody. They don't have to be, but it's nice when they choose that.
Yep.
Darn right.
For sure.
Most people are good, I would say. I'd agree on that. Have you seen, I mean, being that you've done it longer, you know, than us up that way, have you seen that dynamic change to where it's like friendlier now towards, you know, out-of-staters and stuff, or has it always kind of been, I feel like maybe it's been overhyped, like, oh, they don't like the green platers. I feel like that's always kind of been like an overhyped thing, but I don't ever seen that.
I have to say that the diversity of license plates is not the same. Compared
what
to
ways?
There's less diversity to the license plates now than there was when I started.
Really?
Yes, because
Interesting.
you'd see Rhode Island, you'd see everybody, all New England states. Pennsylvania was not unusual. Maryland, like you'd see plates, a lot of different plates. The other reason you're seeing so many green plates, no matter where you go, I don't care if it's Ontario or whatever, is just because we hunt, right? 10% of our population is hunting, and
That's huge.
we're crazy hunters. Like we will go to whatever relative, you know, amount of effort it would take to be able to do well at something, and we don't mind, you know, getting our elbows in it because it's so ingrained in us. We just love hunting so much. It's a big deal to Vermonters. So
That's a sense of pride.
matters.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that woodsmanship and the skill and being able to handle the arena, which is what that is. It's a big, huge arena, and how well you can swing your sword when you're in that arena and handle the chaos of it all. And that's what we need, is some adventure.
Yeah.
Like there's some adventure to our souls, and some of the more southern plates are a little less. They're a little more timid. I want to say they're a little likely, little less likely to get in super deep or something like that. I saw a Tesla for the first time. I'd never seen a Tesla truck out in the woods, and I saw a Tesla truck out in the woods, and I'm like, wow, well, there's a first, right? You know, so that's cool. And, you know, bottom line, I don't think like the locals and how they feel about everybody else is super different than the way it was before. We were actually camping in the woods then. You know, when I first started going up, there was campers in the gravel pits and stuff like that. And there wasn't like a million camps to rent and stuff. And now everyone goes up and rents, so they're collecting some rent there. And that, especially for a lot of the locals up there, that they've owned land forever. Their parents have died or whatever, and they have a house and they want to rent it, and it works out good for them. Sometimes selling it back in the woods is hard to do. Properties, some people, it takes the right kind of person to want to buy property up there.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's not much going on.
Yeah.
There's mosquitoes in the summer and snow in the winter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not into either one of those, that's not the place to be.
No, for sure. No, it does feel good though. Like a few years ago, Ansel drew a moose tag up above the Golden Road, and we pulled into camp, and it was an old camp, and the old timer came out, and he goes, "Green plate, we know something's gonna die."
Yep.
And I was like, that felt pretty good. Like, and we did get a moose. It was
That's
cool.
right.
But like, it's nice to have that reputation a little bit. We just gotta make sure that we're being good stewards and everything.
That's right. Right.
That goes for everybody across the board, no matter what state you are.
Oh, yeah.
If wherever you're visiting, just be respectful of the people and the places around. Having the respect for it.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, the friggin' littering thing gets me. Oh, I just cannot stand it. You just even around here, you go brook trout fishing, and you see a thing of worms and some lures, and like, what kind of a fisherman is littering? I mean, if I ever found the guy, I'd probably beat him to death. But I mean, if you're fishing and littering don't go together. So who are these people? Every time I go to a river or a lake, there's litter everywhere. It's like, what is going on here?
We would always take a trash bag, and
Yeah.
the boys and I would pick up what we could. I remember going down to Baker's Pond once, and there was a trout laying there dead. And it was flopping a little bit. It wasn't completely dead. And Casey went over to it and picked it up. And he said to the guy that was standing right there, he says, "I bet there's a cigarette butt inside of that fish." And he took open his knife and he cut the fish open, and there was a cigarette butt stuck in that thing's mouth.
Wow.
Right? So littering is a big deal.
Yeah.
It kills fish sometimes, right? Like, it matters, and it's a
does.
real reflection. The blue cans. I'm just tired of seeing blue cans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even
like,
in some of your most remote places, you go hike a mountain up there, and you on a tree limb up there, and you're like,
3,500 feet.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is. And it's
Jesus
like,
Christ.
man, come on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, the one time we did like seeing litter was we didn't know if this spot got shed hunted, and we found like a new Red Bull can hanging off a tree. We're like, I guess this spot's been hit. So we picked it up and left. But that was kind of
Someone
nice.
hung that right on a tree.
Oh, good.
So-
That was somebody leaving it there so you wouldn't look.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
We knew what way
probably
to not
antlers
go.
everywhere.
Going back to your season a little bit, I know you said you were on some bigger ones. How many days this season would you say you were like on a good, like how many good encounters or track days you had this year?
Like one a week.
Okay.
1 week,
Yeah.
Because I'm fussy.
Yeah.
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 If I just wanted to follow a buck every single day.
Yeah.
Like I could have been following a buck every single day. The quality of the buck, well, that would be to be determined, because many of them are just, a
Yeah.
big 4-6 pointer with huge feet, and he's not much.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good on paper right there while you're looking at the white, but you go for a little ways and
Start seeing the behavior and all that.
yeah, and it's like, there's not too much to them, And some you might really think are good, and
Yeah.
What is it that specific that you see in those bigger, older, more mature bucks that like they're doing versus those younger ones? I know it's maybe more hopping around.
never leaving the garbage.
Okay.
Big ones don't leave the garbage.
They stay right in the
They're in
shit
the junk all the time.
all the time.
Very rare they're out in the open. And if it is, it's some kind of weird circumstance like I had, where it was strip cuts, and for some reason the moose got up and moved. I don't know how. I don't think the moose ran because of me. I think it was him chasing them does, and they went down by the moose. I see the moose move, the deer come running down to me, and then come to a stop there. And like, that was the only reason that worked, is because of where the does went and what happened at that spot, and the magic of all the moose, the deer, and me all arriving at that spot at that time. That's the only reason. Maybe he'd have come just walking right along with him, and he'd been doing it for quite a few hours right there. But like, in general, it's just, I want to say on day one, just before Taylor, the buck I saw just before Taylor got his ankle on the first day there, I'm pouring off the mountain and I'm in a drainage. It's the only place that's not cut because it's a brook. And as I'm walking down through it, I look down in front of me, 150 yards, and that looks like a deer. And I stopped, started to lift my rifle, and he turned his head, and then I saw a rack, and he jumped straight away from me, and he came up into the air the third time and did the old leg and go for the back, boom.
Yeah.
And right as I did that, he dropped, and it must have went right beside his tail. And he went into a hole. There was a hole there. He didn't stop. He didn't land. The front legs didn't land. They went down into a hole. So he just kept going right out, and I went right over the top of him. He doom, 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 doom. And I knew it. The second I pulled the trigger, I said, oh, I messed. And he stopped, and he looked at me way down there, and I could just barely make out little tiny pieces. There's nothing to shoot at, you know. And then he just wiggled his tail once, and then took a step and wiggled his tail one more time and then ran off. And I'm like, nah, didn't touch him. Not even close, you know. But just kind of busted onto him. And he was, you know, a third of the way up the mountain. Almost everything was like a third of the way up the mountain on that first day. There was nothing real high. Everything was partway down the hill. Even the donkeys were all same thing. All the moose were about that third of the way up the mountains.
Yep.
You know,
it's funny though. Like, so you just described two situations where you're an inch or two off.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah. Same with his. Like, I don't know if you've seen his video yet, but like, literally he went like this right before the deer in. If he'd had his head, like, it was a matter of this.
Yep.
And he'd had that thing dead right in front of him, like twice that
and another
day.
time I stepped in a skidder rut, and I was just a hair too low to when they took off, and that was it. You know,
So
like you said, it's just
the deer get lucky. They get lucky
Yeah.
that you happen to be doing that. That's all that was.
Because you hadn't done it in a while. And all of a sudden you just checked the track and he was going like this right when you did that. And you still took care of him. But
I so hate looking at the ground when I think they're right there. I don't want to look at the ground. I keep telling myself, don't look at the ground, hunt. Keep your chin up. Like you need a collar on.
Yes.
So you can't look down. Because and when Lanny says, right, when you're looking down, you should lose it every once in a while. Like the track you're following, you should kind of like lose it for a second.
That's how you know you're paying
That's how you
attention.
know you're looking around. That's right. Because it's really key that you don't stop watching. And I don't want to get caught by doing this. I look down and he runs off. I got caught. I don't want to do that. I want to catch that. And like, that's also like, you can't not look down. You got to look at the track.
You got to know where you're going. Yeah,
that's right.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Like this hunting's nonstop decision making. You'll never stop making decisions. And every one of them matter.
Yeah, for sure.
But you can't overthink it because then you won't make any. So you just do it. Just do it. Yeah. And when it's going to work, it's going to work.
Yeah. And like some of the decisions you make, you think's a bad one. And then at 20 minutes later, you end up because of that decision where you tried to go through this thick shit and you couldn't, you had to back out and come around. 20 minutes later, because of that, you're running into a buck. You know, it's like everything happens for a reason. You know,
for sure.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is true. So you did shoot the gun off a little bit this year then.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, we haven't seen these videos yet.
And my gun like gets bored. It tells me, hey, come on, let's do something here because I'm not seeing nothing to shoot at. Like, let's go.
God.
Oh, yeah.
Any thinking into this year, any more of the same from you guys or any specific goals this year? Anything eating away at you that you want to do this year?
I always like to shoot my biggest buck
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone wants to do that a little bit if you can. I also really want to hunt with Casey.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had a chance to hunt with him for a couple of years, and like we did a little tiny bit, but I'd like to hunt with him a little bit more.
He should be able to this year.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll put some pressure on him.
Yeah, we'll try.
Kids are getting a little bigger now, right?
Oh yeah,
a little older. Yeah.
I mean, the fans want it. I've heard people saying, "Where the hell is he?"
Time for him to. Him and I can double team really good.
Yeah.
Whether he's filming or I'm filming. If anything, it's usually a little better if he's hunting and I'm filming.
Okay.
We do really well together.
Yep.
Taylor and I have a little bit of every now and then it comes together, but every now and then he's like, "You change when I'm with you."
Yeah.
And you're not hunting the way you would always hunt.
Yeah. I feel like he sends you out on your own sometimes.
And he's like, "Just go kill."
Yeah.
Just go kill. And he was mad at I didn't just shoot this buck. He's like, "Man, you should have shot that thing. Don't bother filming it. We'll film it when it's dead. You shoot that thing." And I'm like, "No, I want to get a buck. I want him to stand there and want to film him, and then I'll shoot him if that's the way it's going to be if I'm by myself."
Yeah.
That's kind of what I wanted to do, and that's exactly what I did. And, like, I don't care. Right?
Yeah, you've done it a lot. It's not like it was the first time. So like if it's you wanted to do it the way you want to do it, that's respectable,
And
So.
you can only hope so much for everybody else.
Yeah.
But for myself, that thing with them giant beams that comes right out like that, and they're about that big around. Oh, I like shoot that.
Does something to you.
Think
I
about
like
him
shoot
every
that
day.
Son of a gun. So close. Like, just like to have that deer in my hands.
Oh yeah.
You know.
He's up there right now.
I'm pretty
chewing
sure
his cud, waiting for you.
The other one that we were messing with the year before last, I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Yeah.
And I can't seem to find him anywhere, and I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Yep.
And that's the way it goes.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, some of them, that's just that they're not meant for you, meant for somebody else. But you have a chance when you watching them in the yard there a little bit, and you see him, and it's like, oh man, there he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There he is. Like, and they're so proud of them being alive.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so happy that they're there and they're doing well. And there's plenty of their prodigy there. There's plenty of younger ones that are so beautiful and good looking, and I love them so much, and don't have to put a hole in them to feel good.
No, exactly.
Really don't. And I'm so proud of the area.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do treat it like it's mine.
Oh, you're a good
I
steward.
want to treat that entire area like I own it.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean I have taken away from everybody, right? I want to treat it like, right?
Yeah,
Because I love it, right?
Yeah.
And if somebody else gets a deer, wonderful. And if you're out there and you get beat me to it, great. And if I don't get out of bed till 8 o'clock, well, that's the way it goes.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? And I may lose out here and there, and it may cost me some of the things. But also, too, like Fred Eller drew that moose permit.
Yep.
And I'm like, Fred, right here. Where are you? And he says, oh, right here. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to draw on it. I'm going to put an X on the map. This is where I want you to hunt, right here. This is my new most favorite moose spot in the world, and this is where you need to go. And he goes up on the first day and sees a couple small ones. And then second day, not too much. Weather's off a little bit. And then he goes back. And I said, oh, you walk around and come in from here and walk right here. And he didn't even get to my X, and there's a cow, right, and that thing comes walking in behind him, and he shoots that thing with his bow, and it goes crash, and he sends me the picture of it, and he says, right on the X, and I'm like, oh, isn't that beautiful, right?
That's so awesome.
To be able to say, okay, right here,
Yeah.
this is what you're looking for, and that part I love.
Oh, yeah.
I love being able to do that.
For sure.
And it's only just stuff that I discovered, and this was a spot I found 2 years ago. I mean, it's just random. Just random. Totally random, but this is wow. You need to go here.
Yeah.
And then when he got there, he's like, holy smokes. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. To be able to do that.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And I love, when I go there, I love my history with it all.
Yeah.
Because I've walked on
So many
almost
memories.
every single mountain up there.
Yeah.
Walked on them all. There's hardly any of them I haven't walked on.
That's awesome.
Like in almost a couple hundred square miles right there. Oh, I spent a lot of time in all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's wonderful to have that experience, and then to be able to say to the boys, well, this is what I usually see over here, and this is where I usually see it,
Yep.
Figure it out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then they jump in there and they're like, yeah. Or they're like, no, it blows. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that part.
We you mentioned the word moose, so we got to ask you one. I mean, we're probably wrap it up soon, but
Yeah, sure.
we've been shed hunting all spring and seeing the dead moose everywhere and the ticks and stuff. And you mentioned something really good before. I just wanted to get your personal opinion on what you think the future of moose is in the Northeast, and what this landscape will be like if the moose disappear. And you have touched on it before, but I'd like your opinion again.
Well, especially in places where it gets cut real hard, like your Western Maine, where it's timber company land, and they're cutting it real hard. If that all grows into brush, right, and the moose help keep it at bay, right? They do a lot of eating.
Yep.
And they eat so much, and they nibble and come back and nibble it again, and you'll find all kinds of brush that's been chewed 7 or 8 times. If you count the years of chewing that a small striped maple or something's been chewed, it's incredible. When the moose aren't on the landscape, the regular walking will be quite a bit different. That's for sure. You won't have those nice little moose paths of them going everywhere. as the numbers decline some and the brush grows up, you'll see less hunters.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
With less moose up there, there will be less people. So, like, their economy is going to take a hit if their moose population really, really tanks.
Yep.
Now, I can't see it really, really tanking because the food is still really good. Even if the ticks do get pretty serious,
Yep.
there'll be some that will definitely succumb to it. And the calving birth rates are down because of their anemic. And then also, too, the calves, once they've been through almost a year, they're dying in the spring.
Yep.
Because they're getting overwhelmed. So there's a certain, amount of breeding success that will affect, how well the ticks do and how well the moose do at the same time simultaneously.
Yep.
They're trying to come up with they're doing a new study right now. Lee Cantar is working on a new kind of collar that will give out more beeps more often. They'll also be tracking a lot more of the individual moose at different times of the year. They're working on different collaring systems. They're now putting collars on a moose in the water.
Yep.
So if they get a moose and it's in over its head and they pull right up to it with the boat, they can just lasso its neck,
cool.
pull it right up to the boat, put the collar on, bolt it right on, let go of the moose, and away it goes. And you're not using a helicopter.
Yeah.
You're not paying for the fuel. It's not as dangerous trying to fly around in a clear cut using the cowboy method with a gun, shooting them with a net. You won't have to go through a lot of that quite as much, and it'll be a little cheaper, easier way to get that out there.
Yep.
Part of what he's hoping to do, I believe, is to see how the moose use the landscape, especially when they're really infested.
Yes.
And what times of the year when the questing is the most, what parts of the landscape, especially we always say onyx will solve all our problems when it comes to hunting. Well, it also solves a lot. Look, satellite imagery of the landscape and the way the moose uses it. You can develop the patterns of where the areas are that they're questing a lot and getting a lot of ticks on them at the time.
Yep.
So if they maybe change their forestry practices in spots like that, maybe that would help, because that's a big part of it. And maybe they can do something there. So they're kind of looking into all the different possibilities of what could happen with this whole moose thing. Now, one of the things is it going to tank, and where would tanking be? In moose population wise.
Yeah.
Are we there now? Has it gotten all the way to the bottom? And how long will it take to recover? How long will it stay low? All those things they're trying their best to determine.
Yep.
And also, too, ratios of cows to bulls. Yep. And whether or not their current management practices are working. So they took a zone and they split it. Yep. And they're killing more cows in one area, and they're killing the traditional number in the other, and they're doing some comparisons in different elevations, especially latitudes, north, south, right? Because some areas will be different where it's warmer, where if they go farther north, it's colder. So some of their management practices may be needing to adjust it there. So they're researching a lot of that stuff, doing the best they can to kind of get their hands on it, even though the moose are going to have to survive it. They're going to have to work with it. They're going to have to figure it out. Nature finds a way. And, our woodpeckers are going berserk now.
Yeah. And they weren't. Yeah.
Now they're going berserk, and they're eating those emerald ash borers like crazy. Yep. And they're finding that they're doing quite a job on it. I watched a couple of different videos about it today, and I was like, wow, no kidding.
Yeah.
And they were spitting out some good information. I had to make a reel about that because it was that's so intense to see how nature responds to it, and even like the unintended consequences as well, So it's this mystery. Yeah. There's something to it.
There's something to the habitat, because there's spots we go in. We call it the haunted woods. There's dead moose everywhere. There's other spots we go in. You find moose antlers, but you don't find dead moose.
That's right.
So there's got to be something there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there's more to it, right? And if you at least go at it with an open mind, you're apt to find out what's actually going on. You're curious enough to do it. And things aren't simple. They never are.
No.
The anti that'll start right in and say, oh, we shouldn't be killing any moose, or we shouldn't be killing any bears or anything. It's like, no, it's not just that simple. There's a lot of other complicated things that go into the way, a lot of things come about happening. And sometimes some of your moves you make might not might have some unintended consequences. So you got to kind of take your time, but also too, we're not all powerful.
No.
It's nature, man. It is not like we have an effect.
You want to charge right
but
out
it's
and
limited.
give them all Brevecto, but you just can't.
No.
You probably killed 10 other things doing that,
Exactly.
But the most scared I was this spring, wasn't finding the dead moose. It was going up in the spots I used to moose hunt in the Northeast Kingdom and just being wall-to-wall trees. And I'm like, oh, no. This is what Maine's going to look like.
Oh, like how thick it is?
I'm like,
yes.
I don't like
Especially
this.
the bramble,
Yeah.
right? The hobble bush.
Yeah.
That hobble bush just turns into about, almost like head high.
Yep.
And it's such a tangle, you can't hardly push through it.
Yep.
And the moose used to keep that at bay.
Yeah.
And you'd almost need to clear cut it and expose it to direct sunlight everywhere to have that not be there anymore.
Yeah.
So the woods themselves and the structure of them is going to change for sure.
Yeah.
Knotweed, all those things that are in our landscape, all those invasives will change the face of it. And nature will adjust for man.
Yep, for sure.
Can't use this. You're using all the trees. We'll give you something you can't use, right? And of course, like she works with you the same as you work with her. If you work with her, she'll give you lots of carrots.
Yep.
Right? If you don't work with her, she's not going to give you lots of carrots. Right?
Yeah.
So you have to work with it, that kind of harmonious method of whatever works, and then figure it out and do your best, but not overdo it.
Yeah.
And also understand what you're doing. And you have to be open to all of that. That's why science is such a big deal. It's the best predictor of what could go wrong and the best predictor of outcomes.
Yep. True.
And you have to have it. You absolutely have to have it.
Yep, for sure.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, yep.
Whether it's moose, it's deer, it's bears. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a
That's a
question
whole nother can of
about
worms.
that.
My
And
God.
Not to go down a biology, rabbit hole, but like, what are your thoughts on that? Because there's no denying that the rapid increase of bear just over the last 5, 6, 10 years,
Yep.
But
Bears are sort of loved and hated at the same time.
Yep.
I guess it depends what lens you look at them through. Really.
That's right.
Yeah.
And everybody's is different.
Yeah.
From the state standpoint, so a few individuals, very few, said we want more bears. Well, boy, didn't we make some bears.
Yeah, we got some bears.
There are some bears now.
Yeah.
Now, of course, that, like we were saying, comes at a price. You're going to have more conflicts. You're going to have more bears. So they will have an effect on things. They're a top predator, right? So they're going to have an effect on your fawns.
Yep.
If you decide there's too many, well, we can kill them. One of the things that Forrest Hammond did talk about, let's create a license that'll instantly increase the bear population, which it did.
Oh, yeah.
Instantly, and he knew it would.
Yep.
He says, let's make mandatory reporting of sex and mandatory reporting. Like we need to know every single bear, what it weighs, its tooth, so we know how old it is, and we need to know its sex. And then we can predict how many cubs they're going to have.
Yep.
So we can judge that. He said we need to know how many people actively bear hunt and how good they are at it. We have to develop a hunter success rate, and that's exactly what happened. All these things took place, and the bear herd came up, along with composting, right?
Yep.
That composting law, Lewis Porter spent a ton of time trying to talk the legislator out of the composting, mandatory kind of thing, and just because it just makes bears come into yards and live there. Now our mountains have no cutting, so they're not up on top in the rest of the year. The only time they might go is for nuts. The rest of the time they're down low and they're permanent and they're among us full time.
Yep.
So now we're seeing them all the time. I can't believe the aggressive male chasing around rutting, like bear rutting activity that I've been seeing on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yep.
I
Yeah, you
was
never
like,
see something like that before.
No. And now all kinds of people are filming it even. So now the bears are down. They're with us full time. How some people treat them isn't real respectful for sure. But one of the things that Forrest said is, I can assure you that we can knock the population down if we need to. And if anything, we have to be careful not to do too much. It's way easier to go too much than not enough.
Yeah.
And he said, if we need to knock it down, we can.
Okay.
Now, if we have all this information that we've gained by having the reporting and the licenses and the seasons and all that, we can now better predict how many we're going to kill, and they're actually doing it very accurately. Before the season even happens, they're predicting the bear kill very accurately. which is awesome. And New Hampshire was doing it sometimes to within 40.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Before the season. That's incredible. And we were trying to get in alignment with them.
Yeah.
And that's what happened, and now we're pretty close. And, of course, they share information all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Now enter problems, whether it's trash or bird feeders or whatever. And
vegan bait piles, the compost, I call them. No, I got a couple in town that they're just like, hey, Homer's here.
Yep.
Came in for the nightly feeding, and everything's great. It's not that great.
Eventually, it may not be.
No, and Homer's got 3 cubs now, and they've all learned that, and eventually something bad's going to happen.
They all become beggars.
Yeah.
They're all welfare. Mm-hmm. And in the long run, if you really respect them, you don't let them get in the dumpster. You freeze I freeze all my stuff and then put it in the dumpster on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And he comes on Wednesday, and away it goes.
Yep.
And I don't ever have bear get in my dumpster.
We love our bird feeders, but we bring them in at night.
Yeah.
Be
intentional
sometimes
about
we
it.
forget, and if we do, we're buying new bird feeders. But it's just you gotta pay attention. So.
Be a good neighbor, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. The new legislation they were talking about, it was just a people problem.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I don't want my neighbor with a bait.
Yeah.
I don't want my neighbor having a bait pile, and now suddenly I've got 8 bears here when I normally would only have 1 or 2. Now all my fawns are dead.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're hanging out. They're right here all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that. I don't want them having heart disease and all the other things, diabetes. Bears will get all kinds of human diseases from human foods. So people would feed them all kinds of, I'm not into it.
Yeah.
Like, some places it's the only way, right? You go to Maine, trapping and baiting kills 90%, almost 90% of their bears through those methods. And if they didn't use that anymore, it would be a huge devastating effect to the natural ecosystem.
Yeah.
It would change everything.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that I hear a lot of, especially from bear hunters, is too many bears. And I just say, shoot a sow.
Yeah.
Oh, you won't do that.
No.
So then I guess there isn't too many bears.
Yep. True.
Right? Like, we kill does in order to keep the population down.
Yeah.
If we have a society who never, ever wants to kill any females or babies, and you don't like the amount of population you have.
Yeah.
So right now, we're currently killing a fair number of sows. And if anything, it's probably not enough if our population's too high from what everybody says.
Yeah.
So should we limit that? Well, definitely have to think about it.
Yeah.
Right? It's a human thing.
Yep.
And truthfully, bears don't care how you kill them. You're
don't.
dead.
Yeah, you're
dead.
Yep.
So I just don't like seeing them wounded.
No.
People with their bird shot,
Yeah.
wounding them, every big male. And the big males are the ones that are a real problem.
Yeah.
They really are.
Those are the
females
ones you're
are
finding pellets in when you're skinning them.
100%.
Yeah,
and
that sucks.
females are not. They're good at risk assessment, and they don't want to bring their cubs into a risky situation.
Yeah.
So, like, if there's a dog in the yard or whatever, they're going to avoid it. They're not as cantankerous as a giant old male. And here you want a population of giant old males,
Yeah.
which is what the females having lots and lots of babies ends up doing. And now they become kind of not scared of anything. And this is big, like, local town bully that's 400 pounds. And now you got to fire your gun to get him away from you. Like, so,
Yeah.
and when I see a lot of that in the shop here because people call me up with, oh, it was in my chickens. And I call the wardens. And, I think we hear about a lot of that stuff. And if anything, it's a lot. Mm-hmm. And one of the warnings that Forrest gave us back in the beginning was like, we don't know how many conflicts are too many. We're dealing with a couple hundred right now. I'm sure they're at 300 or 400 now.
Oh, I'm sure.
So that means it doubled, and the population's gone from like 3,200 probably right up to 6,000, 7,000.
Yeah.
So, like, we don't know how many's too many, and we don't know what they'll tolerate. That's one of the warnings that he gave Stuart Kinney when he was talking to him. He says, we don't know. We'll find out.
Something crazy will happen where a male might cuff a person around eventually or get cornered and maybe slap a kid or, hurt somebody. And that's when everybody will flip out and then it'll be a human decision.
Possibility.
I don't know. Something like that. But, there's a dozen conflicts just on my road every week. It's just, but we all just kind of live with it. I mean, we're contributing to it because we're got the bird feeders and all the other shit. So, but it's like putting that thing of cookies out in front of me when I came in, and now,
by the way,
I haven't took my eyes off them.
They're actually pretty good. You might want to try
right here.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I should.
No, you're fine. I'm just kidding.
No, it's a good discussion to have, though. I mean, I think as the population increases, though, you're going to see some more of that. I'd be curious to see how people react and what happens. I mean, like you said, you just got to sit back and watch and see what happens, what comes of it.
You have to ask yourself how much you value them.
Yeah.
And some people really super value them. And they value seeing them and value knowing they're there. And they have all kinds of really good qualities that, they're awesome. And, like, you have to be bear aware, right? Like they say.
We went half our life without – I mean, I didn't see shit for bears in the 80s and 90s. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, it was awesome to see them,
Mm-hmm. I saw one cross 302 by Riddle's Pond when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's the only one ever. And even then I went, it was a quarter mile away, and I went, I think that was a bear.
And you thought that was the coolest thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it for a split second running across the blacktop a quarter mile ahead of me.
Yeah.
Right. Like that was, and now I saw 6 last fall.
Yep.
I saw 6 bears.
Shit, you saw 6 last week?
I had the same mom with 3 cubs every time I go bow hunting, and they just were there, and I'd yell at them. They didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So
right.
Whatever.
Yeah. And they make their living being big.
Oh yeah.
And they really don't need to be scared of a great lot.
No.
And they understand you. Yep. And they're so good at patterning people.
Oh yeah.
They're so good at knowing the neighborhood's routine.
Yeah.
And when you get up and when you go to work and when the dog goes out, and they know all that stuff, and they're just fine. And they're just in the bushes right over there a little ways. Just because you ain't seeing them doesn't mean they ain't right there.
Well, the other night I let the dogs go pee. They came inside. It wasn't 2 minutes later. I didn't take the bird feeder in. Cluck-clump, cluck-clump, cluck-clump. And that thing was on top of the deck. And my wife's like, ah. So we started taking everything in now. So, but anyways, well, we've been going 2 straight hours. Rodney probably wants to have some dinner.
Yeah, that was a good discussion. I got
very good.
One last thing to wrap it up here for the people listening. We're all deer hunters and stuff. Right. What do you think is the most underrated piece of tracking advice you have, or have heard, I should say, to wrap it up?
Underrated.
You always hear the stuff, the wait 30 minutes, all the, that stuff or whatever. What do you think something that people don't think about as much? That's a tough question. I know.
Boy, underrated. I have a list of overrated. Underrated.
We could cut
that just walk up to him and shoot him.
Yeah.
90% of tracking, it happens on the first time you meet the deer. Mm-hmm. 90% of the killing happens on that first time.
Yep.
When you see them and you get the shot, and they didn't know you were there, or they did and they presented you with a shot or something. That's when everything happens.
Yeah.
Almost all your tracking stories, it's on the first meeting. Very rarely is it the second or third or the fourth meeting or something like that where you finished during the day and did it. And that's the difference between the boys and the men right there. Mm-hmm. Like when you bust a deer 5 times in a row and still get him at the end of the day, you've done something.
Yep.
It's different to just walk up and shoot him, and everybody does it just walking up and shooting him. You got up close to him and the circumstances were just right and you went bang. Mm-hmm. Just walk up to the thing and shoot it.
Yep. I like that.
That's good advice.
Because you want to keep it simple. As soon as it starts getting overcomplicated and overthought,
your percentage goes way down.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And you think that it is, and that makes it off more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What you think matters.
Yeah.
Always. And you are a product of your thoughts.
Just watching your video, he put a pretty educational tracking video this year. As far as there was multiple times in that video after you missed the deer the first time where I'm like, I just started getting, oh Jesus, I probably would have quit here. Oh no, I would have quit here. Mm-hmm. Up the mountain he goes again. Oh man, I wouldn't have gone up there.
Right.
It's just like you get down on yourself after the first time. It just exponentially drops off the success. But
you hear a lot of don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. There are times when you need to quit.
Yeah.
And that is almost as equally important to be able to say this ain't happening and not get too far out on the string.
Yeah.
But also too, sometimes in that last half a second, everything comes together. Another 100 yards.
Yep. True.
How many people jump a deer, it runs off, and they stop right there?
Yeah.
They think first time, no problem. And as soon as I jump it, I'll never get it, so I'll quit. Hal jumped Brutus.
Oh, yeah.
100 yards later, there it was.
Yep.
Right? Like, and how many people would have turned off right there?
A lot.
Same type of thing.
Yep. A lot.
So most of the time it's that first meeting.
Yeah.
Things happen on that first meeting. Most of them are killed right then.
Walk
Well,
up and
that's
shoot
good
'em.
advice.
Just walk up the thing and shoot it.
That's all it is. If you boil it down to its most simplest form, that's what you're doing. You're walking up to a deer and shooting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, people will laugh, but when you really think about it, that's exactly what you're doing.
Boil it down.
And especially when you get 2 or 3 people, you walk up to a deer with 3 people.
Yeah. That's tough. That's tough.
But it happens.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, man, wasn't that bad.
Yep.
It can be done.
Yep.
And as soon as you have to start thinking that way, it can be done. Then it suddenly can be done.
That's
Because
when it
there's a
starts.
difference, right?
Yep.
Doesn't, whether it's Joe or Rick or whoever, right? And they're going along, they know it can be done.
Yep.
So they're looking for that. And
helps
the
you.
keys will be found because of that,
Yep.
right? And that's just who they are. That's the way it is. And so that's the way it is. And the guy who says, I can't. Oh, I met him many times.
Yep.
And it does not happen.
And he's right. It can't for him.
No.
Not until he changes his attitude. Yep.
If it didn't matter, I wouldn't ever talk as much about it as I do because, it matters.
Big
Oh,
time.
it matters. Always has.
Big time. Yep.
It's good advice right there.
Good advice.
Well,
Yep.
thank you, Rodney. I appreciate that. Always a pleasure talking to you, and you're a man of wisdom when it comes to Northeast deer hunting. So it's always
Good to
fun
see you guys.
pluck
Good
that
to
stuff
see
out
you
of you.
guys.
I want to
been a
come back
while.
in December, and I want that deer you've been chasing. I want to hear the story about it because
I want to see him right here on the wall.
You're going to get him this year.
Yeah.
So we'll put the links to your website
Of course.
and everything in the description of the podcast.
Yep.
And Mountain Deer Taxidermy, Rodney Elmer. Thank you very much.
Yep. Yeah,
And-
put all that in there. Yeah, if you're living under a rock and haven't seen the
Yeah, I
boys'
was gonna
channels,
say.
then get on there, subscribe to them, subscribe to the STAGR Gear channel, and
Yep.
yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And yeah, thanks again, Rodney.
Thanks.
It's just kind of luck I wasn't wearing one of your shirts because usually I am.
I see that in the reels.
Yeah, we see it all the time. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot,
It's
bud.
awesome. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we'll
right.
catch you guys later.
So
See ya.
long.
You're listening to STAGR Cast, brought to you by STAGR Gear.